Hello everyone and welcome to Warriors of Waterdeep. We are playing the Anvil of Dumathoin. Well, we're not. The Warriors of Waterdeep is a mobile game. We're not going to sit here playing a mobile game while you watch. We're playing a D&D game based on a mobile game. Are you gonna, yeah. I mean, you're more than welcome to if you like. Anyway, we are playing an actual play of Warriors of Waterdeep, where these lovely players arrayed around me are playing the characters from the game, and we are telling the story of the first couple chapters of the game. We're playing D&D, which the game is based on, so all the characters should fit into the world very nicely, although we have done a couple of tweaks and alterations to make everything match up as best we can. Basically, they have character sheets. You can see them on the left-hand side of the screen. They've also leveled up to level 7. 7, which is good. 7. Is that Len Goodman from Strictly Come Dancing?
I was going to say, there was no dancing involved, really.
I don't know, I've done that to each other for such a long time, I've forgotten what the reference was.
Exactly.
It is indeed Strictly Come Dancing.
Good. Anyway, yes, 7 level, and they will tell you what marvellous things they can do, or you'll probably see it as part of the adventure.
It's a surprise.
Anyway, I will catch you up on the story and where they got up to in just a minute, but before then, let's go around the table and meet all of our players. Today, I'd like you to give your name, your pronouns if you'd like to, your character's name and their pronouns, and maybe tell us what your favourite item is in Warriors of Waterdeep, because as a game, it is full of lovely magical items, and maybe you have a particular favourite? I'll go first. My name is Chris. I use they, them pronouns. And my favourite item is Jarlaxle's Silverhand weapon. It is called the Rapier of Disrobement. It doesn't make the other characters take their clothes off, which is a shame because that's clearly what it means.
It's dodgy. Not sure about that. Not okay with that.
But yes, Jarlaxle usually works.
A bit disrobed you.
I read that as Jarlaxle takes his clothes off.
That's like the wizard thing is that meme, isn't it, where the man puts his arms down and all the clothes go off.
I like it just because of the name. I think it's a very strange name. I like that it's a rapier. There aren't many rapiers in game. I like Jarlaxle. Jarlaxle's a sexy badass motherfucker.
Just the worst. The absolute worst.
Love him. I love him.
Drow piece of shit.
His collar is up to here, so he's literally hiding behind his collar. It's amazing. So
and then there's the he's great. He's brilliant. I love him.
Jarlaxle did something to me in a home game, and I'm still cross about it.
Jarlaxle and Joppa are my favourites, and I just want
Jarlaxle. That collar. Look at that collar.
I just want them to have a duet adventure together. I think that would make me so happy.
I think it's the ship we desperately need.
Next season.
Anyway, that's me. Let's go around the table. I can't choose who to go first. No.
The left one.
No.
Oh, okay, it's me.
Oh, we just did a claim? Oh, that's annoying.
Niall. You see him. I play Nolan, uses she, her. And favourite item, I think, has to go to, and I think we'll all agree, with Hallinet's Ring of Regeneration. That piece of equipment is a bit bad boy.
Yes.
You're a bit sick. You're like, oh, I'm on the second out of 3 dungeons. Might need a bit of help. So yeah, definitely Hallinet's Ring of Regeneration. If that's what it's called, it could be called something fancy.
I think it's called the Ring of Long Life.
Yeah, you just shot my fox then, but thanks. We were talking about foxes earlier. Sorry, that doesn't sound as... That's not...
You just shot my fox in your accent just implies that, well, exactly everyone's thinking. Oh, Terence, you just shot my fox.
Good lord.
Faster next time, Sebastian.
Natalie, say that.
Hi, I'm Nat. I use she, her pronouns. I'm playing Thomas Tallstep, who uses he, him pronouns. I would say my favourite item from the game... It's also Halbernet's.
Oh.
It's St. Maccabeus Thighbone, because it just entertains me greatly, especially when he crits. And he does his little circle around with the thigh bone. It's like, yeah! On the bone! But also it does Death Ward and heals and stuff, so and hits. So all-round entertaining.
I find it particularly amusing that the St. Maccabeus thigh bone works as like a mace of disruption. It's the same thing. And Halbernet's next weapon up is a mace of disruption. So these two things have exactly the same function. One is lower level for reasons I don't fully understand why, but that's nice.
Reasons. One is a thigh bone.
Just also St. Maccabeus thigh bone. So Markovia's thighbone is from Ravenloft, which is a completely different setting.
There's only so many times you can hit someone with the thighbone before it starts to disintegrate.
That's true.
I think it does break as well.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
The thing is, with Emma, it's kind of like, I don't know whether you have experience of this or not.
No. Well, I mean, I did a degree in biology, so...
Oh, that does make more sense.
I feel like it's just common sense that unless this thighbone, unless St. Markovia was heckin' sturdy, which could have been. I don't know St. Markovia.
St. Markovia's a saint. Surely their thighbone is going to last forever because it's consecrated.
Nobody's a saint in Barovia, so I'm saying. Mic drop.
Okay, I think we've veered off topic here. Anna.
Anna or Emma?
Anna.
Hi. I'm Anna. I use all the pronouns. I'm playing Coriolis, who uses only she, her pronouns. My favourite item in game, this is very specific, I had to look it up because I love it for very specific reasons, is Riker's Mark of the Ancient Owlbear. Reason one, I love owlbears. Who thought, get an owl, make it a bear? That's a great monster. I love owlbears, they're brilliant. The idea that she slayed an owlbear and then just went, this is my headdress now, is great. But also, it gives her taunt and then also makes her have counterattack. I have won many a level with just Riker alone because of this headdress. I'm really into it. It's my favourite.
Is that, hang on, that's the headdress piece, because there's also a shoulder armour piece where it's definitely an owlbear skull.
Yeah, no, this is specifically the headdress piece because it's the one that gives her taunt.
I love that your theory is that someone took an owl and made it a bear rather than someone took a bear and made it an owl.
Well, owlbears don't fly to my knowledge, so my thinking is they took an owl and made it a bear.
Surely they took a bear and made it an owl if it can't fly.
Oh my god.
The semantics here are deep.
I mean, I will say...
I need somebody in chat to decide which way around it is.
I mean, I can tell you
I just googled it. It's actually a flamingo.
Oh my god, amazing.
From a lore dive perspective, owlbears are based on a mini that wasn't a D&D mini. It was another thing that they just moved across. And the Monster Manual over the years has made more and more elaborate comments along the lines of, some mad wizard must have made this because it doesn't make any sense otherwise.
It doesn't.
It doesn't make any
that's
sense.
why they're incredible. I've got two. I've got Medicinal Owlbear and I've got the figurine of Adorable Power that you gave me. I'm well into them.
Two of the only monsters in the Monster Manual that very specifically reference stuff like that. The other one is the Froghemoth, which references very specifically that it is an alien from outer space, which doesn't make sense anywhere else in D&D context. No one else mentions, but Froghemoths, they never arrived. And then one came out of a steel cylinder found in the ground. You're like, it's an alien. Okay, cool. That's amazing. You've literally just gone, there are aliens now in a setting that doesn't have aliens. Okay. Whatever.
Mind flayers.
Not aliens, very specific culture from a different plane of existence. Yeah.
The metal eye things.
I guess aliens are anything that's not from this world, really.
Well, technically, so that's true.
In D&D, I guess. Also, owlbears, playable race soon.
Really?
What?
Are you kidding? Are you joking?
Have you not seen that?
No.
I can be an owlbear?
Guys, they're doing all the testing for owlbears, bunny people. Have you not seen them?
I saw bunny people.
No, there's no owlbears in there. There's rabbit folk and other stuff and fairies, but there's no owlbear. You can't play an owlbear.
I'm checking that. I'm pretty sure I've seen an owlbear playable race being kicked about somewhere. This
is going to be like the Pandaren thing in World of Warcraft, where they put Pandaren in as a joke playable race and then developed a whole DLC around it, and now they are one of the playable races. It'll be
because it's cool.
This intro's taking a long time. Emma.
Hi, I'm Emma. I use the pronouns Em or Emma, and I'm playing Shivarith. He uses the pronouns she, her. My favourite, while I agree with Niall that the Ring of Regeneration is really important, I do think the best way forward is just to kill everything before you need to heal. So my favourite item is Shivarith's silver hand dagger, which is called the Dagger of Lasting Memory, which basically injures everyone, and they just die, and they die on their turn, which is really great. It's great. Yeah, and healing's great, but if you just kill everyone, you don't need to.
I'll drink to that.
Best defense is good offense.
Right, let's move on to Ed quickly.
Hello, I'm Ed. I use he, him pronouns. I am playing Halbernet Sladenel, and
it's getting worse.
Through. Anyway, who uses they them pronouns. And I have found out about 3 items which I did not realize existed in the game. I think I've been playing this slower than everybody else. Therefore, I am going to definitely jump on the bandwagon of the owlbear headdress thing. But that is very, very much jumping on the bandwagon. Otherwise, I would have gone for the Ring of Healing had not my fox been shot. But apparently I'm not allowed to say that.
You're allowed to say it, but you know.
But yes, that is me. I think I need to find out more is the answer.
Sounds like it, my friend. Right, let us get through the rest of the intro. Thank you very much all for introducing your characters and giving some lovely ramble topics. That was very good of you. So the show will run for approximately 3 hours, and there'll be a break about halfway through. So do take a chance then to refill your glasses and all the rest of it. We have some lovely sponsors and supporters. First of all, the lovely Ludia, who create Warriors of Waterdeep. Thank you so much for letting us play in your world. We're having a wonderful time. We've got 2 episodes left. Hopefully we'll get to all the stuff that's in the game and other stuff beyond. We'll see how we do from there. Finally, we play with a diverse group of players who play a diverse set of characters of wide-ranging sexual and gender identities. Our tables are trans-positive, and we both encourage and champion trans players, characters, and DMs, as well as GNC players, characters, and DMs in our games. Our players may portray characters that are of different gender to their own, as will our DMs. And while we aim to avoid misgendering, we do acknowledge it does sometimes happen. We have a company policy in place for correction should the need arise. If you want to find out more about our safety tools, there's an !safety in chat. There's also content warnings links down there if you want to make sure that you're avoiding content you don't want to see. Right. Excellent. That's a very long intro, but it was a good ramble too. And in the end, isn't that the best thing? Let's dive into the story though. Intro time. And welcome back, everyone. So, the party are about to enter the Hidden Forge, which is at the bottom of the Frost Silver Mines, which are underneath Sharpstone Keep.
We came down a long way.
You did come down a long way. Waterdeep. Faerun. Which is on Toril.
Keep zooming out.
Hang on, keep going. On the material plane. We can keep going. But yes, these lovely adventurers have made their way to the hidden forge of Dumathoin, searching for the Anvil of Dumathoin, a strange magical artifact that appears to have given magical items to some of the most numerous members of the Sword Coast Coterie. But at this point, they don't know much about the Anvil. They have managed to make their way past the various guardians of the hidden forge. First, the fire giant Harkald Firesworn, who was desperate to discover more about the Anvil of Dumathoin itself, but couldn't get through the small tunnels. Yeah. And also, they dealt with the Soul of Frost Silver, a stone elemental, rock elemental, earth elemental. An earth elemental that could make walls. It was a sort of legendary monster with walls of stone. It was all a very nice combat scenario. But actually, that one they didn't destroy. That one they managed to pacify.
Friend.
Took a long time.
Friend.
Yes.
We have been named Rock.
Yes, you named the Earth Elemental Rock, well done. But the Hidden Forge, there was a door that had to be opened with a line from some of Nelmlen's childhood, as Nelmlen's family is from this Sharpstone Keep. And maybe that will become relevant in this episode, who can say? But yes, they have made their way to said Hidden Forge. I'm going to remind you before we dive in today that you heard sort of dog-like sound noises on the other side of the door before you opened it.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I remember it being rats. Why do I remember that?
Because I said it was a dog-sized rat.
Of unusual size.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I see. That's why.
I remember.
Something very important happened just before the door opened as well.
What was that? Oh, you held Thomas's hand, yeah.
No, Thomas held my hand.
Oh, Thomas held your hand.
But
Little squeeze.
yeah. Oh.
It was a very big, epic door with lots of cool, it was a big, camera behind the five of us, epic upward shot. I just little like.
I have noticed this.
You have noticed what?
The holding of the hands.
You have noticed it.
Ah,
Oh, did you just roll for that?
no.
We were playing a game. You should roll for it.
Oh, I see. Okay, what, perception?
Yeah.
Are we trying to be stealthy or are we not trying to be stealthy?
I definitely did not. No way. Did I notice? I was too preoccupied inside the cool door doing cool things.
As this giant door covered in symbology of Dumathorn swings open with a noisy creak, like a door that rusted on its hinges, probably hasn't been opened in quite a long time, considering the mound of bones that was in front of it with the earth elemental, probably not opened for a long, long time. But yes, as the doors swing open, inside is dark, dim lighting. There aren't any sort of obvious sources of light in this space at all, and it appears, from what you can, from what you can see vaguely, because Shavareth has light cast on something, I believe, don't you?
It was a little stone, but we left
that was a long time ago.
Okay, in which case, there will be some light from this room as the orange glowing gems in the walls shine a bit of light. And you can see that light bouncing and refracting. It looks like the walls are made entirely of metal. It's an entirely metallic space almost.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
You can also hear that sound within seems to bounce around in that strange way when you're in entirely metal spaces with almost a tinny, reverberous quality, and everything appears to be amplified, and there's a very strange quality to things as you slowly step forward. However, you can also hear, as you heard through the door, skittering of feet, and into the dim light, a creature will come rushing up to you. It looks like a large cockroach.
I hate them.
It is large, segmented legs.
Orange.
It is indeed a sort of rust-coloured orange.
Boo.
And it has some strange frondy tentacles at the front of its face that sort of look a bit like ferns.
Kind of adorable, though.
Chris?
Well, there's sort of antennae over the front of
I
it.
understand. It's just the tentacles, every time.
I mean, I didn't design this game. The rust monster, which is what it is, will scuttle towards all of you. Do you want to enter initiative?
I mean, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's wait. Let's think about this. Is there going to anybody speak to an insect?
I
No.
can speak common.
Coriolis would definitely try.
Well, that's what I mean. Let's at least go for that before we just splatter this
But-
thing, because I fully am intending to.
Yeah. But she would definitely try without consulting anyone else. So
Perfect.
maybe it's worth entering initiative just to see who gets to do the thing they want to do first.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
good.
I'm fine with that. Cool. In which case, can everyone please roll me initiative?
Straight out the gate.
Yes.
Just shout them out.
10.
14?
Oh.
10.
15.
What, you got 0?
15, 10.
Oh.
Is that 14? Who said 14?
14 for Thomas.
14 for Thomas. Someone else said 10.
I did.
Oh, I see.
And yeah, someone else. Good. And I'm sorry, Niall, what did you get?
I got an 11. My initiative's pretty good.
That is not a good initiative roll from all of you. That is
Terrible.
Well, I rolled a 6, so I was quite happy with an 11.
It's fine. Don't come at me for that.
disappointing initiative rolls from all of you.
If the cockroach goes first, our decision might be made for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It doesn't. Right. Thomas, Shavareth, who has the higher initiative? Who has the higher initiative? I know that.
Wait,
Who's got the higher
I rolled a 15.
Oh, well, then my initiative tracker got it wrong. Shavareth, what would you like to do?
I mean,
Blazing.
I was thinking that we could just stealth round it.
No, it's seen you. It's moving towards the light.
Oh.
Yes, Niall.
That's how they move.
Yeah, that's...
Does it look aggressive?
It looks... Roll me an insight check.
Will that use my action?
No.
16?
It is stepping into the light, and it's clearly not designed for light. Like, it's not like, yes, I like this. Like, it doesn't like the light. But it is moving forward, and it's sort of almost sniffing the air with its fronds, which sort of... And it seems to be sort of, as it moves forward, it seems to be moving towards, well, in the direction of Thomas, Halmanet.
As if it's smelling something on them?
As if it's smelling something on them.
Okay.
I will remind you again that it's called a rust monster.
I think
We
it...
know that in the game.
I think it...
Covered in metal. Covered in metal.
I think it wants to... I don't know, I think it smelled something on Thomas Halmanet, but you want to... I don't know. I think it's coming for you two.
Okay.
Can I, as kind of, just to see if it deters it, like it's kind of like a kind of, we are not squishy, like, go away. Can I just hold it at it? Just try and like kind of bite it, almost like bite it and make it go away?
Is it a wisdom save?
Yes, it is a wisdom save.
So you rolled shoot.
Basically.
I rolled a 5.
Okay. It's 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. It...
I see.
like, shakes its head.
Shoo!
And you spend the next... Roll me an animal handling check.
My best skill.
Please, if we get a natural 20 on this and we win the...
It's a 17.
Okay. It stops moving forward.
This is hilarious.
Thomas.
I think we might be able to just go away.
Okay.
It is currently like standing, like you're in the doorway and it's standing in front of you. Like you can try and move around it. You can't see very well as it's quite dimly lit. Yeah.
I cannot see. I guess just try and like shimmy to the side away and see if it follows. But hold an attack action.
Sure. Do you want to move around it clockwise? Like keeping the same range but shimmying around it and like...
Yeah, I clockwise or anti-clockwise, I have no information to...
Well, no, you can't see in here. This room, as you step into it, like you're stepping into the dim lit bit, and the light bouncing off the walls and ceiling, you can see that this front bit, this front chamber that you're in, there's clearly corridors going off to the left, to the right, and forward. And there's also... there's carvings and markings in the walls where the light's refracting really, but you can't see them very well because it's so dim in here. You also...
Wait, Neilman has dark vision, right?
Correct.
Neilman, what do your dwarf eyes see?
As you scrape your feet along the floor, Thomas, because you can't see this very well, there's strange sort of markings in the floor, and as your foot travels over them, you get sort of slight like indentations or dips in the floor as your feet sort of stroke over them slightly, and you almost scratch part, like as you scratch it, there's a sort of a strange scratchiness to the parts that you are moving your foot over.
Okay. I feel like this is all things that I am not good at.
Try animal handling.
What can I see to help
Actually,
out?
Okay.
Plus part of that.
You can really? You can talk as a free action, that's fine. No, looking into this room, you can see, because 60 feet will give you this room. There are corridors to the left, right, and forward. You can see them quite clearly. There are markings and symbology of Dumathorn, and this continued thematic of these sort of dwarfs supplicating this gigantic metal dwarf. Like, you've seen supplications of all of this around the outside on the walls, still the same. This room, in the corner... Part of the corner of this room on the far side, also sort of in front of you and to the right, has been like divoted in. Like someone's taken a melon baller and just scooped out a corner of the room. And you can see inside there are numerous feelers and feet stepping out. It looks like a rust monster nest.
Oh, that's not okay.
Because, I mean, quite frankly, this is the perfect habitat for them. They can eat to their heart's content here. And bits of the floor, like where Thomas has just stepped, are like pitted into the metal, like they've been sort of eating bits of it at various points around here. That some of the markings, I'd say a good 5-10 feet off the floor in places, because they are sort of large dog size and they can rear, has been damaged, but nowhere near. This corner of the room is kind of divoted in quite heavily, but nowhere else. Other bits of this room have been damaged, but not to any greater extent.
Has anyone got any dynamite? I think we need to...
To respond to your question,
Yes, mate.
I say, don't go on there. with that level of casualness.
Not a good idea.
I have a thought, but I think I need to roll an intelligence check for it because I don't want to meta this.
Sure, go for it.
That was a 10.
What's the decision, or can we not know?
Well, now, if it helps you, 1 to 10 and 11 to 20 are two different integers, so 10 would be below.
Yeah.
People look at 10 and go, it's the middle. It's not. 10 and a half is the middle.
Yeah. Okay, then. I do not do the thing that I want to do. Okay,
Or you could just do it and we're fine with it.
Thomas does not.
Thomas hasn't put 2 and 2 together yet, I don't think. So he's going to focus on the scooting around the side of it and maybe, again, continue... Shoot.
Yes.
But is more concerned about why is the floor wrong? And I would like to investigate the floor, please.
Are you holding do you want to hold your attack? You still want to do that?
Oh, I can't do all of that, can I? No. In that case, as soon as the floor feels wrong, I'm going to stop moving and hold my attack.
Perfectly fine. You walked about 10 feet into the room, but around at an angle. That's fine.
Like, against the wall?
Sure, if you like. Totally fine.
Crab-wise.
Nailm.
I like just turn to the two people next to me who I don't know what order we're stood in, but I just sort of look up at each person, unless it's like Corey who's the same height as me or a bit smaller.
Corey's way shorter than you.
A bit smaller. I'll be like, are we killing this thing?
Yes, that's what I want to know.
Seems quite friendly.
Can anyone
Can it say aye? Aye?
Aye.
Does it continue to kind of look at Thomas as I've moved?
Because of the Toll the Dead, it's sort of... But now that it's sort of shaking it off, the animal handling check was quite high, wasn't it? 17?
17. It's
not moving any closer. It's clearly sort of, as Thomas moves around, but also it still pulls back and looks at Hal in particular.
I guess the nays have it. I'm going to pull out a torch, flick a tinderbox, light it up, and then just chuck it in the middle of the room.
You can now all see this, and Thomas, looking at your feet, you can now see what the problem is. Parts of the floor around you are almost pitted, where clearly some of the floor has been eaten. There are pitted marks all round the room where bits have been eaten, but this corner of the room, now lit quite well, you can see this hideous hive of legs and fronds that are just starting to... there's quite a lot of them just sort of bursting their way out slowly but surely. They're not they're not aliens coming out of it. It's more of a just sort of a couple what's going on here? What's going on?
With the torch throw, can I throw it towards the ones that are coming out?
Yeah.
As an animal handling to do that. Well, actually throws it. She just goes off.
Roll me an animal handling check. I'm going to say with advantage because you're using the torch and doing something clever. I'm fine with clever.
It can only get better. It can only get better.
Was it a 1?
So I rolled 13, and then on my second roll, I rolled a natural 20 for a +3, which is a 20.
As you throw the torch and shout, the creatures in the nest just all sort of pull back into the nest with a kind of fine, just definitely a bit intimidated by the group of you as you step into this space. The one in front looks like it's not moving aggressively towards you now. It's just sort of standing there looking a bit confused and but food though. There are corridors as described to your left, right, and forward with the light glowing in the way that it is now. These corridors are all made of metal in the same way. You can now see, and I will say this is fair for everybody, looking down in front of you and the ones to the left and right. This sort of pitting and damage doesn't go into the corridors, or if it does, it doesn't go very far.
What is it that stopped them going into the corridors?
Well, that's what we've got to find out. The damage is just confined to the room, then?
This particular room,
yes. Out and down.
Are there any, dead bits of rust thingy in the corridors.
You'd have to go and
the
inspect
stops.
more carefully to look for those, but
Are we still initiative?
yeah.
I guess, can I use my movement to get up towards Thomas as well so that he's not by himself? I'll pull out my dagger as well. Just be like...
You are currently still in initiative because you have rolled some very successful animal handling checks, but these are still animals and you haven't had a chance to communicate with them. They are currently cowed, but who knows for how long. Curry, it is your turn.
Okay. I think... May I roll something to see whether I would do something?
Yeah, you can do whatever you like.
Okay, because I think she feels guilty at the amount of chaos she causes. But I want to know how short-term her memory is. Because if it's like, oh no, I remember and I feel really guilty about it, she won't do the thing I wanted her to do. And it's, yeah.
This is an amnesia check. Is that what we're doing?
Basically. So would that
roll
be
for that?
history?
Roll me an intelligence.
happened?
Roll me an intelligence
Okay,
check.
fine.
This is Anna rolling to see whether she has Emma's memory.
That's a nat one. I'm going to use my Wonder Wonder.
Hooray!
Just because I'm in my brain, I'm like, oh, we've pacified them. I wonder what else this
Let's
is.
make it rain.
I'm going to remind you that you're in an entirely metal room.
Do it, for goodness sake.
Are
Let's
you
see what happens.
firing
This is
your
gonna
Wand
be
of Wonder
amazing.
at the one in the center of the space, at the nest? Where are you firing?
I'm firing at the nest.
At the nest. Okay.
Yeah. If I hadn't rolled a nat one, I was going to do something fairly sensible, but I literally rolled a nat one. So I
This
can't.
is what
amazing.
happens.
Well, Anna, you know what happens next. I'm going to look at it. Don't look at what it does. Let me tell you. Roll a D100.
That's a 5.
What?
It's a 5.
0 and a 5.
A 5. Oh no. Oh, no.
This is.
good?
What is your spell save DC?
We might be about to lose.
A leg, I don't know. A limb. I think it's 15. I don't actually know how to check. It's 15.
15. Okay. I am making wisdom saves for the rust monsters in the nest.
This could be brilliant.
The horribly wise creatures.
Famously. Yeah.
Yes, really. They know what they're doing.
You can see the monster rolls on the campaign now.
I bet you see them, yeah.
I mean, they're not
They're rolling
well.
bad.
They all roll really badly. Corey, as you point the Wand of Wonder at the nest, and you can all see this, as the rust monsters inside just go back inside, you can still see, like, from the antennae and the occasional foot poking out with a kind of, what's going on out there? They all start to move much more slowly as you have slowed the entire group of them in the nest.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
There's now a weird slow motion dance of fronds and tendrils happening inside the
That's the
nest.
first time I've done something useful with the Wand of Wonder.
I don't know. You summoned gems the first time you used it, which
Second.
was pretty
Lightning
useful.
bolt first time.
Yes.
Right.
Away.
Okay, so I think I then turn to everyone and go, should we pick a corridor then?
I think that sounds like a good idea.
Did you just? Was that? Oh, very well. Does Habinet know what
It's your
these?
turn. It's your turn.
Yeah. Does he know what these?
Do they know?
Sorry, I keep not hearing what you're saying to me.
Do they know?
Thank you very much. Do they know what these bugs are, as in like the threat that they pose to their?
I'd say they're a relatively commonplace adventuring issue. I think you'd all know of them.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm always very willing to destroy these things. What have you done to them?
Oh, they're just slow. They'll struggle to follow us.
Excellent. They don't seem to want to.
They're
I'd say let's get
adorable.
moving.
I mean, I know they're a massive issue, but they're cute.
Like they ruin like farming equipment and stuff like that occasionally, or they ruin like armories. Like they are notorious pests.
I have no concept of this.
Well, I would.
Just leave them to it.
Let's get moving. I don't. Do we have to save all the cute things?
Well, if we don't
no,
need to
but
fight them at all, then let's not fight them at all.
If you fight one of them, the other ones are probably going to keep chasing us, aren't they?
That is true. All right, let's go then. And Albert is going to stride off towards the left-hand corridor.
The left-hand corridor. Fascinating. Okay. With your
Is it dark? Do I need to get Stephen out?
Yeah, there's a torch.
There's various torches, so we're okay. If Halbner starts walking down the corridor, the light will get dim because torches only have a certain amount of range. Hal, you can see in the dark, can't you?
Yes.
Perfect.
60 feet.
I think me, Nermlin, and
Yes.
Hal can all see in the dark. Yeah.
Yes. Right, so Halbner, you stride towards the left-hand corridor. 30 feet of movement. You can see that this sort of slight rusting and pitting in places stops at a certain point.
They don't seem to come this far down. Let's go. And I want to...
Can you see any... Are there any dead ones or bits of them or any reason why?
Halbner has a decent passive perception. I will give you this. Down the left-hand corridor, you can see no dead ones or bits of dead ones at all.
Cool. No, there's nothing down here. Let's get it away as fast as we can. I hate
Yeah,
these things.
that probably means something ate them whole.
Oh.
Maybe we should stealth?
Hal, it was
We're brilliant at that.
Hal, it is your initiative, and do you walk 30 feet and start walking down the corridor, or do you stop at the point where the rusting and pitting ends?
My intention is to get to 30 feet and to hold an attack. The idea being to walk away and not use it, but if something were to...
If you walk 30 feet, you'll be walking roughly 5 feet into the unpitted area.
Yes, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay. Hal, you stride into the corridor, making a dexterity saving throw.
Oh
And what saving throw?
A dexterity saving throw.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, it is.
Good. Ha-ha! 12.
As Hal strides down this corridor, Hal, you step on the floor beyond where it is pitted, and you fall. Those of you that can see, which is all of you because it's just about in the light, see a panel of the floor just rotate and then close again.
Oh, you're joking.
I am not.
No, I say out loud to the rest of the party.
I feel like Nermlin just like from...
Hal, you fall about 40 feet straight down.
That's going to hurt.
It is. There we go. You take 18 points of bludgeoning damage and piercing damage as you land at the bottom of this, where there are spikes at the bottom of this trap. However, interspersed between the spikes are various pieces of what look like old whitened cartilage that you start to recognize as old dead rust monsters. And
Can I ask, sorry, is that 9 points of piercing damage, 9 points of bludgeoning, or is that 18 points of bludgeoning, 18 points of piercing?
18 total.
18 total.
Thank you.
Sorry,
A mixture of both.
A mixture of both.
Yeah.
18 total. But yes, how you have landed in the midst of this. You've got some spikes in you in certain places, and you've landed on... It's not... You get the sense it's not as bad as it could have been because there's all these cartilage bits around, but...
That was
it's undignified, and also above you, you can see, because you can see 60 feet in dark vision, 40 feet above you, the trapdoor has closed. It is on a central hinge, which means the whole thing rotates.
Yeah, got
Okay.
it.
Are we still in initiative?
Yeah.
Well, as this thing turns, the rust monster is going to start, it is its turn, and is going to run back and away to the nest. Because they don't like the traps very much for semi-obvious reasons, and it's going to move into the nest amongst the rest of its family. You don't, obviously, none of you speak rust monster, so it's fine. But what you will get, this is the conversation that is happening right now. Guys! There's people, and they've got stuff, and it's really, guys. No. That's what's happening right now. You hear,
What are you doing? What's wrong with you?
You hear rust monster chittering, but whereas it was like, you get. Anyway, that's the end of their turn as they all start chatting to each other. We can be out of initiative. They're not going to bother you for the time being. I will say, if you keep standing in this room doing nothing, at some point they're going to be like, food? No.
No.
But
I realise we've got no more rope.
Do we not? Do we not take it with us?
How would
because
we have?
all jumped down.
Okay, can I... Right, so what Coriolis would do...
Fire the wand of wonder.
if not stopped, Coriolis would think, well, we obviously all need to stick together and run to try and jump down the trapdoor.
Do not go down there.
As Corey goes running to the trapdoor, both of you are like, whoa, that's not a good idea.
I imagine Nolan is like a...
Back of the neck.
We don't know where it leads to. We have to go find them.
Yes, we're going, but slowly and carefully.
Go to the edge, don't jump down.
Can I?
But it's the floor. How do we go to the edge of the floor?
We're going to go and look, given that we saw where it is, and then we're going to poke it carefully.
I've come across a lot of these in the locksmithing business, and then I walk towards the panel.
I'm gonna
put my hands through it.
I'm gonna go and have a look as well.
Can I roll a perception check on the locksmithing business, please?
Insight, please.
I don't think it is, but that's...
Can I roll investigation on the floor, please?
1 second.
Okay. So insight.
I mean, you literally said lockpicking last episode, so
Yeah, I feel like at this
an
point,
18.
Thomas does not believe it at
There's
all.
no.
Well, Corey, who still clearly held this to be true, Nelman might be more than just working as a locksmith.
No. The reason I wanted to roll is not necessarily to know whether I believed it or not, but to know how much I disbelieved it, to know how petty I would be in this moment.
Oh, I see.
Wow.
So so then Corey's just like, oh yeah, the locksmithing business. Sure, go Nolan and go do your roguey thing, and I'm sure that you're having a very successful locksmithing business, and just is very peeved off that everything seems to be going wrong.
Nelman and Shalarith, you both wanted to check out the trap. Does one of you want to roll investigation, the other assist?
shall I roll
I mean,
that?
if the group's going over there, Thomas would go as well.
Sure.
20 non-natural.
Lovely. As you both step towards this, you realise, one, that it is a pressured, if you step on one side of it, the whole thing rotates. Also, if you push down on it slightly, it appears that it's not it's not loose. Like, it appears to be almost held in place, and if you put pressure on it, it doesn't move immediately. With a 20 on your investigation check, and Shivareth being a very smart caster, I will give you this. It looks like it's magnetic.
Nice.
So it needs a lot of weight.
So the weight pushes through the magnetics and then it turns and locks itself back into place.
What we need is something heavy to put on it, and I'm going to message Halbernet to let them know that we're to stand aside. And
Stand? Okay.
How, inside the hole, what have you been doing?
I've been lying there going, I tried not to have a plan. I thought I'd just wing it. This isn't fun. This isn't fun at all. Ow! Damn it, I can't move.
I'm going to point into the hole. Hi, Halbernet.
There is no hole, it's just flat floor.
Yeah, point into the floor.
You don't need to see
where
how.
I know the hole is. No, just point.
Okay.
It goes through solid objects message. Hi, Halbernet. We're about to put something heavy through this trapdoor to get it to open. Just stand as much to the side as you can, please.
Hal, you...
Can I answer this?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
You can reply to message.
I can't really... Ow! Ow! Can I... Do I have to sort of rip myself off the spikes?
Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Still good at those.
Actually, it's not really a saving throw. This is an ability check. So I think roll me a... It could be an athletics or an acrobatics check. I would allow that. Ignore the dex save. A save is something that happens to you, whereas you're doing this for yourself.
I definitely got less than 10. Whatever it was, I got a 7.
No. Roll it again. Roll it as a... athletics could be strength-based if that's better for you.
Yes, that would be... Okay, that works a lot better.
Sorry,
yes,
save is when I do something to you, not the other way around.
Got it. Joy. Okay, 18.
You can... this pit is roughly... it's about 10 foot square. Pressuring yourself against two walls, impossible. And the spikes on the bottom are still very sharp because they're metal and they wouldn't rust or decay. However, because there are rust monsters on them, some of them have damaged, some of them have clearly damaged it a little bit in their death throes. So you can find some of the more brittle ones and knock some of them out of the way. You can get yourself some standing room and potentially move back against one of the walls, so you could probably avoid anything falling on you. Although, frankly, looking up, you've lost all bearing of which side of it they would be on. So gearing yourself like this is the safest place, you wouldn't know.
I will try it, and so the full message would be, stand up, ow, ow, all right, give me a minute, and then...
Right, I
They
don't...
can see, right? Maybe, can you ask them if what they can see down below, maybe we can deactivate it from underneath, rather than...
Can you reach the trap door, or is there a ladder, or how far down are you?
I'm 40 feet.
They're 40 feet down. They can't reach it, and there's no ladder. They're in pain. Should we get a rust monster?
What?
This can only go well.
So it's weighted. So it's weighted, right? But it's also magnetic. Can I just get like one of my pitons out and put it on the metal to see if it magnetizes and becomes loose?
If you put a piton on the metal, now your pitons would not be magnetically charged either way. So if you place a piton on it, nothing happens. There's no.
You will have something that would be magnetic.
Interesting. Do you? What's in your inventory?
Yeah. Smith's tools or something?
Wouldn't be.
If you have those.
Okay, so for help with magnetism, we are in a pre-industrial revolution society, so the idea of using electronics to magnetize something is not there yet, so it needs to be something that was already magnetic.
Well, also, that's not how magnets work. Like, you can't put another magnet on a magnet and suddenly it stops being magnetic. That's just not how magnets work.
I don't know if it needed to be, like, magnetically activated or something.
No. It's the magnets are locking it, so you just need something heavy enough to like break the magnetic seal.
And your piton is not heavy enough.
Then we need to put something in it to stop it from closing again.
Then we need to grab it as it's flipping.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then hopefully I can climb down and make a piton ladder for him to climb up.
Yeah.
Looking at the floor and looking at the metal construction here, the floor is like, it's old metal by this point, but it's not like there are the occasional like I was going to say cracks, but I don't mean that. Like
divots.
The seams and divots. Yeah, there are occasional seams where these pieces of metal were clearly placed together to make this space, but it's not like there's a lot of space to like, I'm just going to knock in a piton. It'll take you forever.
You could use the rust monster to rust away bits of the wall to make handholds.
It would take quite a long time, but yeah.
Wait, so the inside of this hole is made of metal?
You don't know that.
Everything is.
So far, everything's metal.
Dang.
Enough of them.
Anna, you've had your hand up for ages.
Create a pile for Harbin to climb up. Sorry, Anna.
I am the smallest, correct?
Yeah.
I have a suggestion, which is that I go down with pitons and Hal catches me so I don't die, and I use firebolt to make little holes in the metal, or melt little holes in the metal to make the piton ladder from down there. You hold the trapdoor open and we both climb back up.
Brilliant. I love it.
That's my suggestion.
Definitely going to work.
I mean, it's not the worst idea. The only issue is that we don't know where you're going to fall, so we can't guarantee that Halbernet will catch you. So as long as you're willing to potentially fall on the spikes.
If we know that it needs a certain amount of weight to tip it, then can we just push it to open it and kind of wedge it open from there?
Yeah, that sounds like a real good idea. If we all get down and use our hands.
And try not to fall through when it opens.
Yeah, that's easier than...
Said than done, yes.
I was going to say that's easier than we think, but yes.
Do we think...
I'm gonna right, hammer your pitons?
Before this starts. Sorry. The room that we were in before, so the big door opened and we were pretty much immediately in the room with the rust monsters. Right?
Yeah, looks like a sort
the side of the door was pretty much immediately the room that we fought the elemental.
Yes, it is, yes.
Okay. So there is still the big pile of corpses with bones and bits of armor and bits of everything, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Just wanted to establish that.
No, I was going to say we could go and get some stuff
Yes,
to help wedge it open.
exactly.
Do you want to do that?
Oh, I thought you meant we could make like a pile of corpses inside that they could climb up. I feel like Halmanet would be really anti that plan.
Yeah.
It's fine, Hal, we got this.
Using death
On me.
It's not the
Hal
worst.
gets brained by a
not the
skull and
worst
passes
idea.
out.
He's dragged up the pile.
Can I check what the first thing you are doing is?
opening the trapdoor.
Yeah.
Are you all rolling?
A controlled opening.
This is the worst idea. If Corey's going to go down, why doesn't she just jump on it, which doesn't risk the rest of us?
You need to find a way of keeping it open, though.
Yeah, we're going to grab it when it flips.
Fine. Let's do that. So I'm holding all the pythons.
They're not that big.
One sec. Halmanet, Corey's going to jump through now. If you could try and catch her. I appreciate that's going to be quite challenging, but she's fine if she falls on the spikes. She accepts the risk.
She shouldn't fall on the spikes. I think I'll be fine.
Okay.
I think.
You want to try jumping down while standing on my shield?
Well, I was going to suggest that I get Stephen out so that the light makes it easier to see me.
Nice.
So I'm holding the pitons. I'm going to just grab Stephen out of my backpack and be like, hi, mate.
Well,
You're going to give me some light, is that all right?
yeah,
Thank you, really appreciate it.
it's fine.
You're doing great work, thank you.
Don't be condescending about it.
The light glows.
Stephen, I thought we were friends.
We are, it's fine, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've got pitons, I've got Stephen. I'm kind of gonna look at it and kind of stand near it and then be like, maybe I should take a run up and then kind of go back and then be like, enough of a run up? No, a bit more of a run up.
Oh, no.
That's too far of a run up. Okay.
Oh, no.
And do this little kind of distance judging thing for a little bit and then eventually just be like, F it, and sorry. and then eventually just be like, oh, let's go. And and jump on it.
Cool. You are 2.5, 3 foot tall.
Yeah. You're going to tell me it doesn't work now because I'm too small.
You run and I think if you want to, like, once you've jumped on it and it doesn't move, like, you can feel it do a little, like, it does move, but the magnetic field is too strong.
I'm going to keep jumping.
Okay, roll me an athletics check to try and, like, dive from on top.
Nealman's going to turn to two others and just be like, did that lamp just talk?
Oh,
Yeah.
God. I rolled a 7. It's not happening.
Now you can see it, like, wobbling awkwardly above you, but it's not enough to...
Can I go over and kick it and then
Can I hold
kick it down so ready to catch
hold
it?
Naomlin while she's kicking it so that she doesn't potentially fall in as well?
True, kicking down is quite difficult. Right, what is everyone doing?
I mean, if you did it on one leg, you just swat with the other one whilst you catch it. I think that's easier. I can do that.
Not while you're applying pressure, because the squat means that your pressure is on the leg that you're squatting on rather than the leg you're kicking with.
Oh, my
I
God.
got strong thighs as well.
I'm going to hold you either way.
Yes. Here's what we're going to do. Corey's jumping up and down on top of the pit trap trying to open it. Nealman is going to walk over and stamp on it and try not to fall in. Shavarith is trying to hold on to Nealman to make sure that Nealman doesn't fall in. Thomas, what are you doing?
So the other side. So I'm assuming there's magnets either side of the flippy. So I'm assuming that Nolan is going to stamp on one side and Thomas is going to go to the other side, use some of the rusted floor to kind of wedge his foot in, lie down and push at the same time.
I think it flips. I think it's on like a flip. Like all of the side that's facing us would flip.
That's right.
It doesn't flip. The pivot point is not in the middle. The pivot point is in the middle across the.
That's what I'm picturing.
Yeah.
So I'm picturing that it would, as we are walking along this way,
Yes.
it would flip
That's
that
right.
way towards
Yes.
us.
Yeah.
Yes. So if Naomlin is stamping down, I can push down the other side, and it's still applying the same directional force.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So you're helping with pushing it down.
Yes.
Oh
I
my
understand.
god.
By lying down on the floor, rather than stamping it and requiring someone to help me, I'm lying down
And
on
then
the
your
floor.
head will be in the way to stop it when it comes back.
I've got a shield.
You're going to use your shield. Okay, interesting.
Brilliant.
I'd just like to state before we make this roll, I'm more invested in me not falling in the pit than in Naomi not falling in the pit.
I understand. Okay.
I'm a Dexy rogue. It's fine.
I am more invested in falling in the pit than anything else.
I mean, you're standing on it. Right.
Yeah, there's only so many ways this can go.
Thomas, Naomi, you could choose to roll a strength check with advantage, and one of you rolls, or you can both roll it. I don't mind either way. It could be athletics as well.
You'll be better at strength.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I do it with advantage then.
Yeah, give you advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Oh, that is a 23.
Nice.
Kazkori, you stamp and you push, and suddenly the whole thing starts turning, and it's quite quick. It is sort of like it does move quite quickly over, so that is spinning around. Corey goes falling into the hole. Right, next.
Oh god.
Naomlin, roll me a dexterity save with advantage, because Shavareth is helping you, to not fall in as well.
Easy.
Now, your dice have betrayed you in the past. I'm just...
I said what I said. Oh, that was all right then. That is a 26.
Yeah, fine. You stamp on it, and you manage to quite expertly shift your weight at the same point, so you're able to stamp on it and move out of the way as it comes rolling over. Right.
As soon as Naomi's not in danger, and possibly at the point where she still is, I jump away. Like, I'm not going in that hole.
Fine.
Namlin notices.
Hal?
I'll remember that.
Press F. Hal, as Corey falls into the hole, are you trying to catch Corey?
Yes.
Roll me it's a grapple, so it's an athletics check.
It is. Oh, that's very nice. 16.
Hey.
You catch Corey.
Oh, my
Yay!
back. Too old to be doing this kind of thing. All right. Well done. That was very...
Naomlin, Thomas, Shavareth, the trapdoor is now spinning over again and is about to close again. What would you all like to do?
I'm going to hold my shield and shove it in the gap.
Put shield in the gap.
Yep. Wedge it
Stay
in.
as
I'm holding on to...
far away from the thing as possible whilst looking involved.
Okay.
You're doing a good job.
Hey, look, physical tasks, not my strong point. Didn't bring any of the spells for this neither.
Naomlin, what are you doing while Thomas tries to sort of prepare the shield for a wedging?
Yeah. As it's coming down to like wedge it in, I'm going to try and catch it so that it doesn't spin back the other way. So essentially it's like a pincer.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Lovely.
Nice,
Okay.
nice.
Naomlin, roll me an athletics check because you're grabbing it.
He saved every one of us.
What'd you roll?
Doesn't look good.
What?
A 3.
A
Oh,
3.
wait. It's an athletics check, isn't it?
Only on escaping grapples. Your squat nimbleness, this is technically a grapple. Go on, roll with advantage.
Yeah, no, it's still 3.
Okay.
Oh, is it technically a grapple, did you say?
It's technically a grapple. Yeah, I think so.
Come on, other die.
You have something called squat nimbleness, so I think it's fair. This is all of that. It's all about thighs.
Nimbleness, nice.
What'd you roll?
Wow. It's an 8.
Still not good enough. As it spins round and you try and grab it, it's moving faster than you think it is. Roll me another dex save.
Oh, God.
Ooh.
Oh god, oh god, oh god.
Ooh.
Can I dive in and try and grab her?
I thought you were standing at the back looking important.
Not looking important, I just don't want to fall into the hole. But I also don't want anyone else to fall into the hole.
Well, let's see what the dex save was first.
A 16?
Interesting. As it comes round, Nilman tries to grab it, but misjudges it, and it clonks her on the head. You stumble back, not forward, and don't fall into the hole. You also take...
Can I use evasion?
Interesting. Yes, you can. You do a barrel roll, and you manage to roll back out.
I'll still cop the noggin, but I'll just be like, ooh.
Yeah, it's a bump on your head. It doesn't take any damage. It just hurts.
You know when you bang your head, and it's the worst. It's like you misjudge it, and you're literally like, full on head.
Absolutely.
It's just like, she turns around, looks at you, and she's just like...
Thomas, roll me an athletics check. Again, this is you holding your shield in place, and it's quite a hefty slam shut. So it's really to see how all of that goes.
Yup. Don't fail me, D&D Beyond. D&D Beyond did not fail me. That's a 26.
Nice.
It clangs shut, and you can feel the metal of your shield bend slightly. Shields are made to bend slightly. Shields are not made to be perfect spheres. They're made to bounce and refract the energy. So this is fine. You can feel the pressure on your shield, and you're holding it with your shield arm in place in between. You can feel it buckling slightly, but it's holding for now. Now and then, Shavareth, you can see this. You can now see inside. Small gap. It's like maybe a 3-foot gap, but there is now light inside because of the lantern. Halbernet, Corey, you are inside and see all this happening above you. What would you like to do? Time is of the essence.
What's the plan?
So I'm going to fire bolt the wall, get pythons in, and then we're going to use that as a ladder to get up to the ceiling.
That's not... Oh, yes, good idea. Okay, fine. Go for it.
Yeah. I know it's not your favourite plan, but it's the plan I was able to come up with. So that's what we're doing.
Great. This was my lack of planning that got me here in the first place.
Folks, any time today.
All right.
As quick as you like.
Thomas, can you roll me a D100, please?
Oh, no.
What?
For the
I was
shield.
about to offer help. Is that going to help?
No. Are you a shield?
Okay.
You
Are you a shield?
I am a human shield.
You're going to put your body where it's going to snap shut.
No.
Well, I was going
52.
to... Well,
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Your shield is holding. There's a sort of...
Do we
Still holding.
need to get something else to put in that gap?
Maybe
Yeah, with
we get
my-
something to wedge it open.
with my thieves' tools, is there anything that I can see in the joints and the movements where I can possibly...
It is a 10-foot. It is a 10-foot cube with a spinning floor. So to reach the hinge, you would have to basically manage to get underneath it, or you could reach the hinge, which is on the inside. So it'd be quite acrobatic.
I'm good at acrobatics.
And you'd be putting your body in the space where it will slam shut.
I'm good at acrobatics.
Fine, then. Off we go.
In the meantime, I'm going to go back into the room we came from and try and find another shield or piece of armor that I can shove into the gap.
Cool, you can roll me an investigation check while this is happening.
Thank you.
Use a corpse.
It would break bone.
It's a 20 non-natural.
Lovely. As you make your way outside, you can start skimming through and trying to find a breastplate or similar, which you will. But it's going to take you a while. Neomlen, as Hal and Corey need to take an action first, but as they're doing this, how do you get 5 feet horizontally? How do you get 5 feet up to where the hinge is?
Well, the whole floor didn't move. It was just a section of the floor, right?
Yeah, so it's
the entire tunnel.
It's a 10-foot. Well, it's the width of the tunnel.
Oh, okay. I think she literally, like, Spider-Man climbs with a dagger in one hand.
It's still made of metal. It's still made of metal.
Huh?
It's made of metal. All the floors, all the things made of metal. Spider-Man climbing would just bounce off.
Can she not crawl along the top?
You could do it.
Like,
you could do a
it's-
wall.
It would add weight to it.
The shield is like, it's not that. Like, she's still going to be able to reach the lip of it to climb and crawl on top, right?
If that's what you want, I'm fine with that.
I mean...
But also, to be clear, that way she wouldn't be able to reach the hinge, which is underneath.
There is, well...
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I jump onto the actual hinge,
Jump!
but against the wall so that it's like steady. You know, like how you spider climb.
Yeah, sure. You're balancing your way across. Thomas,
Yeah.
roll another D100 while we're here.
And then like shuffling down so that I'm at the hinge point. So
Sure.
like legs Van Damming.
Nice.
88.
The metal of your shield again, but it's holding fine. Neomlen, you Van Damme your way to the point where the hinge is, and you can get your thieves' tools out. What do you want to do? Because it's all magnets. It's literally just there's no locking mechanism. It's literally just an axle groove, basically.
There's nowhere for it to go. If you release it, it's just gonna like crush them.
Pull down on them.
Is that true?
It's just an axle. It is literally just a metal axle with this spinning around on it. Corey, do you want to start trying to enact your plan while Milman thinks about her choices?
Is there anything I can do to help?
Right, so I might need you to go after me, and then the last python, pass it up to me so I can use it for the next step. Make sense?
Yes.
I'm assuming we've got more than 4 pythons.
You have more than enough pitons to get all the way up if this melting the metal works, which I am dubious about, but I will happily hear.
We've got nothing else.
Could I shove
Literally got nothing else.
Could I shove something in the axle to keep it open, to stop it from flipping?
Interesting. What do you want to shove in the axle?
I imagine I've got
python?
lots of different things in my thieves' tools, like...
Bit of scrap.
I can probably find you something.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, no, a piton would get snapped by this. I mean, the amount of pressure magnetically that is on this when it spins is high. It would probably grind, snap, and go. Thomas's battle-hardened shield is barely managing to hold the strain.
Give me a second.
That's fine, you keep doing that. Corey, are you starting to melt the wall?
Yes, and the aim, to be clear, is not to like burn a hole in the wall. It's to melt.
Make it soft.
It's to make the metal soft enough that I can put a piton in.
Okay, you don't need to make an attack roll because it's a wall. Can you just roll me the damage on a firebolt, please?
That's 6.
You start to heat up the wall. It starts to glow quite hot, and you can see that it's quite, it's hot to the touch, but it is not like the metal's not dripping or melting.
Okay, so I am going to hold on. What's it called? Where? Come back! I'm going to use a sorcerer point to re-roll those dice.
Sure.
Regret not taking Dimension Door. I regret deeply not taking Dimension Door.
That would have been very useful right now.
Yeah.
Is this how...
It's an 11.
Okay, with an 11, it's heating, it's cherry red now. Like, the heat of it is, and you can see the middle of it start to almost bow and sag slightly.
Okay, bang!
The piton sinks into it and pushes a hole through it, but the metal's still hot.
Yeah.
So
let it cool down.
So what?
It will currently just fall out of it because the metal is still hot.
Okay, well, but if I let it cool down, it'll just harden again. I don't understand.
Yep, and
No, but it'll harden with the piton in it.
Oh, fine. So I hold it there.
Okay.
I'm going to look at Thomas, who's presumably shield bending. So I'm going to look down and
Thomas,
then I'm going to be
a
like,
D100, please.
hey guys,
Oh, I have a plan!
I want to hear this D100 roll first.
Go!
93.
93. Again, the shield is holding perfectly well.
Good boy, shield.
You say to your arm.
Just off in a corridor, so I'd be like, I have so many spells I know that could fix this, but I don't have any of them with me today.
Corey, what is your plan?
Okay, so it would require some DM generosity.
Most things do.
Are you going to make me re-roll the damage for each python?
Yeah.
Okay.
You could just cast it again. It's a cantrip. Just keep casting it.
The plan was, but it would require a sorcery point. I don't have enough sorcery points to get us all the way up. My plan was to firebolt again, but change the damage to cold damage, so it makes it.
Yeah.
oh, nice, very
Can't do
nice.
that, but it costs
That
sorcery
was
points.
my plan, but I can't because I don't have enough sorcery points. Because Chris is going to re-roll the damage for each thing.
That's
You're attacking me each time. I mean,
You don't need to reroll damage on your firebolts because you just put a second fire.
It's a sorcery point turn into cold damage.
It's a
Corey
sorcery
doesn't
point
have red
solid.
frost.
Yes, but for the initial one, you don't need to re-roll the damage. Just put another firebolt into it.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it cold.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't help with the second problem, but it does help with the first one.
Yeah, that is true.
Shabara, by this point, you have probably come running back in with
Can I find any rope, please? Belts, old leather belts,
decayed.
any ladders,
no ladder.
anything from which I can make a ladder, bones that I can do something with.
Oh, that's amazing. You make a bone ladder. That would be hilarious.
At this point, I would.
Do you have any string?
No. At this point, I'm gonna.
Rock friend, help!
It's all metal.
But still.
At this
We
point,
can make a wall that's very long.
Exactly.
Shamarith, are you taking back a breastplate or something similar?
Massive
I'm
ramp.
taking back a breastplate. I'm also taking back a series of thigh bones that I'm going to start ripping my robe apart to make into a ladder if we don't have another plan shortly.
Cool. Rummacking with the breastplate, you place the breastplate under where Thomas's shield is. Thomas, you can remove your shield and the breastplate will hold it in place. And the breastplate, while old, is still like a big piece of metal and is just sort of holding it in place. And now I roll the D100s.
Can I just, before anything is rolled, I just want to say...
Yes, babe?
If this door's going to close, I'm going to unhinge it. So watch your heads. And then if I do fall, I want to try and fall pushing the door away from them. So I'm essentially falling down a hole, feet against the door, pushing it away. Hopefully I land on them.
Interesting. Are you going to unhinge? Are you going to? I mean, it's
only if the armor, if the armor's clearly going, wee, I'm going to be like, unhinge the door.
I've rolled the D100. The armor starts to buckle.
Ah!
I unhinge it. If it's going, it's going.
It
right?
is a metal bar. You can't unhinge it so much as you have to break the metal bar.
But the door's going back round, right?
The armor is clearly buckling. The armor is not as good as Thomas's shield.
But then I do it.
Okay, you've got a keen dagger. You can cut out at the hinge and try and snap the hinge. It's a big piece of metal. It's going to be quite difficult to do.
Otherwise, they're just locked in until we do this again.
Can you ask your friend?
I'm going to save everyone for this. The stone elemental won't come in here because it's all made of metal. It doesn't like it.
Fine. I'm going to
nice.
start ripping my rope apart and try and make this fucking go in ladder. Thomas, will you help me tie these bits of... Sorry, my cloak, not mine.
I was going to say, this is going to get quite revealing.
Hang on.
It's a very nice cloak, but f*** it, I'm fed up with this nonsense. Thomas, will you help me just cut strips and tie them together to make a ladder?
Neilman, are you going to start like using a dagger to try and carve through... Anna, sorry.
No, it's okay. I didn't know if you wanted to come back into the hole yet, but I just was putting my hand up so you knew I had an idea.
Okay, so...
In the hole.
the breastplate is buckling but hasn't broken through yet. Neilman is hacking away wildly at the hinge, was it an axle? The axle, yes. Which is pretty unwise. Corey, while they're doing this, what do you want to do?
I canonically have a hip flask, well, not a hip, a water skin full of ale.
Yep.
You just want to start drinking it?
That's what we need.
If you might remember from episode 1, me and Noemlin both ordered ale from Mert and he filled our water skins with it.
Yes.
Sorry, I'd forgotten.
What I would like to do is pour a little bit on just so it cools the metal enough to harden with the pipes on it.
Perfect. As there is a hiss and the metal will flash harden, because that's what happens, around the piton where you have put that in. So you've put one piton in.
Yeah, great. And now I'm going to stand on it and do the next one.
Sure. Because there's no attack roll, just roll me the damage,
Yep.
and we'll start doing it sort of in 6-second bursts as the rest of this stuff happens.
How's the rope ladder going?
Well, you've only just started doing it, and there have been no rolls yet, so we'll get to that in a minute. Neilman, can you start hacking away at the axle, please? Lovely. Hold that thought, because it hasn't happened yet. Neilman, are you just hacking away at the axle?
Yeah.
Make me an attack roll. You're going to hit, but there's no allies within 5 feet. And it's not a sneak attack. You can't sneak attack a construct, so it is just...
Technically, it's always sneak attack. It's always surprise.
I'm not sure if you can sneak attack inanimate objects. It doesn't matter. Just roll me your dagger damage. That's all we can do right now. Just start hacking away at this axle.
Okie dokie to chokey. Okay. Well, that's a 7.
You're starting to cut away, and you there's a horrible metal screech as you use your dagger to kind of cut, and you are taking some sort of small... You're right, Ed?
I'm acting, sorry.
Oh, right. There's a horrible... As you start to like... that really hurts to do. As you start cutting through the metal of the axle, and it sounds awful. Corey, you melt another patch and stick another piece and pour some more ale over the top of it. Shavarith, Thomas, can you roll me a sleight of hand check, please?
Mine's Mine's +2. How's yours?
+3. But it's still only a 5.
Can I just give advantage to Thomas?
You can give advantage, or you can roll your own.
I'll just, since we're doing it together, I'll just give advantage to Thomas.
Please do.
All right. That's better. That is a 19.
You are starting to use these pieces of Shavara's cloak to make a fairly decent bone ladder.
It's very pretty. It's sort of a teal colour, so it was a very nice cloak.
But yes, as you are making this bone ladder, it's currently only about 10 feet long, but you are starting to make it, and the process is happening.
To be fair, it doesn't...
What am I doing?
It doesn't...
I don't know, Niall. I don't know.
I've got acid.
Oh. No, that's not what I
not
thought.
the question we were asking.
Going through the hole. I decided that. Why am I cutting it when I've got acid?
You gonna start pouring acid on it?
Yeah, I think she literally goes, "What am I doing?" out loud, and then she pulls out a vial of acid.
Shavarath is too
says,
polite
"Wash your head."
to answer your question.
The breastplate starts to buckle a bit further and looks like it's on its last legs. It just, like it's starting to crunch down.
That breastplate's not going to hold.
I don't know. I probably need to go back to holding that.
It's okay, I've got it.
Are you sure?
I'm not sure.
Yes.
No.
Corey, you've got the second piton in, and how are you and Hal climbing up? Just standing on pitons?
Yeah.
But there's a small issue, is that even if you've got up onto the second piton, you still haven't got above head height for me.
Started standing on your shoulder.
Well, wait. Here it is. So now I do the third one. Get up onto that. You get onto the first one.
The first one is like...
The first one is barely above my knee. Sorry, I don't need to be ostracized, but this does feel a little bit pointless in the state. Burnt up and nearly up to my eye level.
Could we not, for rationale's sake?
It's never been a part of this.
Yes. That she did the firebolt in the wall at like Halbernet's reach height.
I think with the two of you there, you can work out that you should probably be doing it at slightly higher up. So
I tell you what, this is...
Why did you all assume I was doing it at my foot height? Nobody asked me how tall I was doing it.
you are sat on Halbernet's shoulders doing it, so you are making them at high enough points. Yes, that is fine.
Cool.
So, you are slowly making your way up as this happens. However, Neomlen, you take out a vial of acid and pour it over the hinge, the currently still just exposed hinge, because the breastplate is still only just there.
I feel like this is Chris taking revenge on us for not just fighting those rust monsters.
Yeah.
And the skeleton.
Yes, this is my. I'm getting back at you all for good roleplay. That's not happening. I just put in a pit trap. It's up to you how you handle it. Right.
That was the problem.
So, Nolan, your acid does full damage to metal, obviously, because you have acids that burn through metal. That's the whole point of them. So, your vial of acid, how much damage does it do?
Acid. I will acid and lay down.
I don't think I would be sweating this much, this short of the way through the...
Sweating.
2d6, so it does 6, which is less than my dagger.
There is a and you all hear this sort of noise as the acid starts burning through the axle. Niall, roll me a D100.
Yay!
I don't have D100s in this game.
To be fair, you've only done one side of the axle so far, so...
That's what he's rolling for. What'd you roll?
That's a 57.
57. There's an as the metal starts to bend. Okay. Just to describe this. Hal, Corey, looking up. You just started to place the third piton. Hal is now on the first piton, and you're starting to make your way up. The entire ceiling above you bends. As one side of the axle clearly is having problems. Neomlen, on top of it, you go, oh, the floor's going, you go, oh, sorry, she, on the floor going, oh, why? Are you going to stay on the trapdoor, or are you going to get off it?
I throw the bone ladder.
Throw.
How long is the bone ladder?
About 10 feet, which is
Long
the width
enough
of,
to
it's the
get
width
to
of
the
this.
omelet.
Yeah, it's way deeper than it is long.
Yeah, we're 40 feet down.
They're 40 feet down.
I'll use the ladder.
Okay, you throw the bone ladder to Leomlin and you what? Keep pouring acid and hang on to it?
I mean, no, because if one side's down, then we've opened the hole more. That's all I wanted to do.
Okay.
That's a fair...
I assumed that the whole door would fall down at once. So
not yet.
that's a win.
So at this point, the door is balancing. The magnetic energy is still holding in place, but it's very, very heavy. As the axle's very clearly bent, and this breastplate's holding it at a weird angle, and the whole thing looks like it's about to cave in sideways and turn and fall down. So, Corey, it looks pretty precarious above you. Just saying.
Can I shout to go to the opposite side that it looks like it's going to fall?
It's going to fall down the middle because it's something that is slightly bigger than the thing that it is on is not going to fall down it flat like a manhole. It'll twist slightly and fall at an angle. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, go like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So the other side. Whichever side it's going to fall.
Very hard to tell from underneath. Corey, Hal, you keep making your way up. Corey, roll me the fire damage on the wall to keep melting and placing.
Yeah.
How far up are they? Could we get to them with our bone ladder?
14.
Oh, excellent.
That's good.
You're melting through. They're about 15 feet up. Melting through, you are now managing to melt, and you're doing it faster now. You are melting, piton, pouring, and doing it at quite a lot of pace. I imagine that Hal's probably just holding you up, because that way you're making them at a height for Hal and its legs, not for yours.
Yeah.
So you are able, between the two of you, to go up faster than this would work if you were doing it at your height.
Yeah.
So as you're making your way up, you're now about 15 feet up, starting to do it on the fourth one.
Can we
say that the bone ladder is now longer?
Can we put it down and start extending it from the top so that it's like extending down into the gap?
Sure.
So as soon as they reach it, they can...
Okay.
I think roll another sleight of hand check to keep making it quickly, because you are doing it quickly.
It will help Thomas again.
Yeah, I was going to say, can I help roll? My sleight of hand might be very high.
Well, you stopped doing the acid thing?
Yeah, I've stopped.
Okay, oh no, that's fine.
Well,
Good.
That's what I wanted to do.
Do you want to go? Do you want to go and help them with the bone ladder, or do you want to go on the other side potentially?
Oh, I don't want to go on the other side. I don't know what's there.
Shame. Okay, so you actually, that's a good point. Let's do this now while we're here. Now then, as you're on the door, looking down the corridor that you've not even started to go down yet, it does turn relatively early on. Like there's about 10, 15 feet of corridor, and then it turns. Roll me a perception check with disadvantage.
Okay. Tis but a humble... Oh, wow, okay. 18.
Wow.
With disadvantage.
That's amazing.
At the corner of the corridor is a dead rust monster. It's clearly been sort of almost bleached white in places, and it's sort of looking at you, but it's also slightly in midair, and it's just looking at you from the end of the corridor.
What?
Oh, I'll give it the middle finger and like to help the guys with the ladder. I'll deal with that later.
Cool. Do you tell the others? They can't see it at the moment. They're too busy in dark vision.
We'll deal with that later.
Okay. Creepy undead rust monster just looking.
More chaos into this moment. Hey, by the way, guys, you see them flowing like dead things.
Lovely. Right, Corey, roll me the next piton.
Next Peter!
And the sleight of hand on the rope was good. So the rope is now 15 foot long, and the pitons are now 20 foot up if this one does enough damage.
Yeah.
So we've only got a 5 foot gap.
That's a 10.
Just enough. Yeah, 10 was the line I had. So with a 10, you again place pour. And again, you are now, the two of you are 20 feet up, and the rope ladder is 15 foot long. So there's 5 foot to go here. Niall, roll me a D100.
Oh, Lord.
Oh no.
What's because I'm using the lovely dice with the logo
Yes.
on.
Yes.
Is that a 0 then?
That's a 0.
So
But
would that
0 is a 10, right?
Yeah, 0 is a 10 on a d10, depending on a
would that
d100
just be
roll.
the other one was a 40, so would that be a
40.
or
That is 40. You rolled 40. You put the two numbers together. So that's a 40. The metal starts to bend further.
Make a hole.
That's okay.
Corey,
There's more room for you to get up.
place the next one. Are you making more rope ladder? The hole is now wide enough. This thing's at such a horrific angle that you potentially look at and see that if Corey puts one more in.
Yes, also making more rope ladder because this is
Okay.
crisis times.
Okay, Corey, have you done enough damage?
10.
10. You melt another point and you place another one. As Thomas, Shivareth, Yeoman, for all three of you working together, one advantage roll. I don't mind who it is.
No.
I've just realised, given what Coryllis is doing, presumably Albinet is getting spattered with beer every single time they put a thing in. It's like, oh, this is so demeaning.
You fell in the trap.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, it's still a 19.
19, you also extend the ladder of bone. You are now at a point where, Corey, because you're standing on Halvanet's shoulders, the ladder is now in reaching distance for both of you. You can now both grab hold of the ladder if you want to. Do you both grab hold of the ladder?
Yes.
Okay. Niall, roll me a D100. Every action.
Yeah.
So that's a 14.
Now they're on the ladder, we can start pulling them.
Okay. Here's what's going to happen. The metal has a final horrible shriek, and you can all tell it's about to go. I will give you all one action before it goes. What would you like that action to be? Hal, Corey, you could use your action for an athletics check to climb some of the rope, the bone ladder, that is fine. Nomlin, Thomas, Shivareth, you can use strength checks to pull the rope ladder up if you want to. It is very heavy, and you only just made it, so there are worries with that if you want to be careful around pulling too heavily. But you can do that if you want, or if you have other abilities you would like to use, you are welcome to. Yes, Ed?
So, potentially what I would like Halbinet to do is, it depends whether this would be more than the action allowed. What I'd like them to do is, as it were, pull Corey down and put their shield up. Would that give a...
So like not climb the ladder but accept that this is falling and the...
It depends on the... that's what I mean. Is that too much of an action for a reaction, if you see what I mean?
I will say that if you want to take your action to do this, because it is about to fall and you can see it's about to fall, and also you are 20 foot down on a ladder.
Yeah.
The fastest you can climb is 15 feet. So from your perspective at this point, you're not going to make it, and you're both aware of that.
That's I think, so I think Halbinet is going to take action to try and...
To protect.
Pull Corey down and put up the shield with the inevitability of what's happening.
Corey, do you try and scamper up, or do you let that happen?
I was going to. I rolled quite well as well.
You would get within
If you
about
take that
5
decision,
feet.
that's fine.
You'll be within about 5 feet of the lip, so it might catch you on the way down, and you're smart enough to know that you're not going to make it. It's up to you.
I think Corey, in that case, would just not have a plan.
So are you gonna go up anyway? You're gonna let Hal protect you?
I think I would just look up and be like, and just whatever happens, happens.
No, because Thomas is pulling and just shouting, up, as quick as you can, come on!
I'm gonna cast Cone of Cold on the trapdoor.
I'm so lost. Can everyone else do their actions first, please, because I'm lost.
That's fine. Okay. So Thomas is shouting up. Corey's still working out what to do, which is valid. Halvinet's getting ready to protect. Nyamlin, do you have anything particular you want to do, or as Shimara starts casting, you just step back?
Well, I was going to do what I said I was going to do, which is kick this door out of the way with my body weight and fall down the hole.
Nolan, get back!
Yes! Would...
I will allow that Shivareth can try and cast the spell, takes an action, see what happens,
Yeah.
And Nilman, you can still do that afterwards if it's not going to work.
Yeah, if it's not frozen in place, I will then snap it so it falls flat rather than... Because if I push on it, it should just fall flat straight past them.
You hope.
Then I'll just fall for a bit.
Yeah.
I'll be fine.
Okay. Cone of Cold. What does Cone of Cold do?
So basically, I'm sending a massive blast of cold air, specifically at the trapdoor, but it goes for 60 feet.
Fascinating.
A cone of 60 feet forward. It doesn't specifically say that it goes around corners like fireball, so I'm assuming that it just stops at the wall.
Fine.
Everything in that must make a Constitution saving throw, so I'm guessing that the wall fails.
Technically, the door cannot pass a con save because I think it has a sort of DC effectively.
A creature killed by the spell becomes a frozen statue until it thaws. I'm hoping that will also work on the door.
Fascinating. Okay, here's what I will say. Can you roll me an Arcana check to freeze this door, effectively use the force of the blast to push it back and freeze it up against the wall? You're still able to pass it, but so you're using the force of the push and the fact that it would freeze solid if it failed to affect this attempt. I will allow that.
14.
Okay, I'm going to roll something as well for that. I think it's only fair. Oh, it's a big roll. Using the big dice.
It uses five charges of my staff.
5?
Yeah.
You blast out your new staff, and this cone of cold washes over the metal door and pushes it up.
It helps. It does 37 points of damage to it as well.
It's immune to cold damage for obvious reasons. As it pushes its way up, it goes up to like that sort of an angle and is clearly freezing in place across the bottom, but it is heavy and you're not sure if you've quite got it enough. It's close, but you haven't completely stopped it from falling down the hole, and it's now standing up against the wall. You can't see past it very well. There's a small gap, but you currently can't see past it. Now, looking at it, it might still fall in the hole. It is up to you what you do.
But it would fall flat now.
It would fall flat. It wouldn't tip.
No, it's if this is the hole, it has fallen. It is pushed up to that sort of an angle, and it's at an angle. If it snaps back down, it'll fall back down.
I'm just going to hold my action ready to see if it snaps. As soon as it gets to that point, I'm going to head for that point so it falls hopefully flat again.
Okay, because of Emma's roll and because of my roll, the ice sort of starts to crack. It can't hold the weight of this massive door.
Yeah, I'll sprint and try and time it.
Does Nat pull the people out first? Because Thomas is rolling a strength check.
Interesting. Thomas, roll me a strength check. You have to pull them up 20 feet because they've not climbed the ladder.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine.
That was a 9.
Bad dice day.
You yank on the ladder as hard as you can, but you're carrying Hal and Corey, and you just pull, and you manage to pull them up about 5-10 feet. Corey, you now recognize with the way that this has gone up that you could probably scamper out now, but Hal has taken the decision to stand there and hold the shield up. It's up to you.
Is it though? I don't know. I don't know what my options are.
You could either, if you use your movement with that athletics roll from earlier, which carries because lots of things happening, you could climb up and out, but Hal wouldn't be able to climb up and out.
Well, except the entire point of me going down was to get Hal out, so that would be stupid, wouldn't it?
Okay. The door is currently at an angle above you, so you could potentially use some of your magic to try and hold it in place or do something else to it.
I don't think I have anything. Oh, okay. Right. Okay, I'm gonna shout. I'm gonna shout at the others to stand back.
Ooh.
And then I'm gonna get out my fan.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Go.
I have nothing else I can
Do it. No reason why not.
Do it. It's wonderful.
Bring the chaos.
Good choice.
Okay.
And I'm gonna just waft it.
Right, so gust of wind blasts up out of the hole at the door that is like the ice snapping, and there's a big sort of air around all of you. And what does it say under gust of wind about how it pushes things and how does that function?
Okay.
Oh.
It says Why is it a cantrip? Cantripped? Wow, I can't speak.
Gust is also a cantrip, so you want Gust of Wind, which is a second level spell.
I see. Okay. A line of strong wind, 60 foot long and 10 feet wide, blasts in the direction you choose. Each creature that starts its turn in the line must succeed on a strength saving throw or be pushed 15 feet away from you in a direction following the line.
Well, door fails its strength saving throw. As you waft it, as the ice starts to come down, it's held in place at the moment, and a strong gust of wind hits it and completes what Shavareth had planned, and it falls into the corridor in front of you and smashes to the floor. Very loud, echoing bang.
Yes. Well, I think they know we're here now.
Keep climbing! Keep climbing!
All right.
I'll give Thomas a hand.
Everyone can climb out of the hole relatively easily now. There's no time pressure on it.
Does that count as a second level spell slot? I know
No,
that's this before.
no, it's just an item. It's charge of the item. But it doesn't have charges. If you use it more than once per day, there's a chance of it ripping, but you've used it for today.
Okay.
Right. You are out of the hole.
So when everybody's got out, Halbernet will try and stand up and go, right, that was my bad.
And that's where we're going to take our break. That's where we're going to take our break.
Perfect.
Thank you, everyone. That was a half.
Unbelievable.
See you all in 5:10. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
And welcome back. So the party have dealt with a pit trap.
Oh my god, it was the worst pit trap that's ever happened.
Wow. The door, the pit trap door, the big metal door, is now smashed, fallen into the corridor that you were going down. There's a 10-foot hole, gap, where there's clearly spikes at the bottom, and you are all standing on the far side of it, breathing heavily.
Should we go down a different corridor?
I imagine they all have these.
We can look for them.
With a dexterity saving throw of 13, would I have been able to catch the armor plate?
As in the sort of metal
Breastplate that was kind of holding it open.
Sure, yeah.
Great.
So you're holding the breastplate.
It's a piece of it's an old
That's fine.
old piece of yeah.
Just in case the rust monsters come back.
Sure. You never know.
I will say, further down the corridor was, Hal, you might want to turn around for this, I don't know. But a floating dead rust monster thing.
Ooh, cool. Can I
That
cast
I can probably
detect
deal with. I
magic?
don't want to go down onto spikes again. That's the crucial bit.
Oh, okay. I just thought, like, the whole dead thing, like, alive thing was a bit of a,
Shavareth,
Yes,
does it
it's
take
about to
magic?
destroy them. I'm perfectly happy dealing with that. Right. Where did you say this was?
As you look down the corridor, there's nothing there.
No magic?
Nope.
I can't see anything.
No, nothing.
It's all sort of. Basically, the corridor is currently like frost-limbed. Like you've just made this like incredible amount of ice and snow, but apart from
I
that,
might have destroyed it.
Good. But
Can I just all look down the right corridor? Yeah.
Over the hole. Do we now have a handy ice bridge to cross this void?
I would say that there's quite a bit of it now has ice over it, so it's not like none of you have to roll checks to get across the 10-foot gap. There is enough ice and stuff there that you can easily like do stuff and get across if you want to. Other people wanted to do other things while Thomas is just like tentatively jumping, like it's a short jump, anyone can make it.
I didn't say I was going.
Okay.
Oh,
Thomas has noticed that there is a thing there. Other people wanted to do other things. What do other people want to do?
I'll go while the detect magic is up.
Okay,
And have a look.
Gently leap across. The ice is, I mean, it was a 5th level spell. The ice is solid. It is a small gap you have to jump across, but you can easily get across it and move your way down this corridor. There's nothing here detecting of magic apart from the massive, is it conjuration magic for a kind of cold? Or is it evocation?
I think it's evocation.
Yeah, apart from the sort of reeking of evocation, like, of the ice, it's also like, the ice is already cold, but the metal where it's touched has sort of become increasingly cold as well, so don't touch it with your bare flesh. That means don't touch it with your flesh without clothes on, not with your bare flesh, because you're not an albert.
Look carefully at the floor as I make my way and have a peek around the corner.
Absolutely. Are you rolling a stealth
Run
check?
across Thomas.
No, I would like to roll. Well, I guess investigation and stealth. I
We'll cross
don't
that
want to
bridge in
fall
a
down any
second.
more pit traps.
Thomas, are you leaping across as well?
You say leaping, it sounds very unstealthy. If Shivara's was crossing, Thomas would not want her to be going down the corridor of mystery alone, so he would
Cool.
tentatively walk across the ice.
Well, there's a jump because there had to be a gap, otherwise where the heck were Hal and Corey going to come out of? So there is a jump, and for you it is a slightly larger jump than anyone else because you're smart, but you managed to, there's no check, you just leap across that small space perfectly easily and can go up next to Shivara. Can you both roll me stealth checks, please? What are the other three of you doing?
The same?
Following?
Yeah.
You really want to go over that pit? All right, okay, I'll come with you.
17?
I'm going to quickly check the other corridor.
I thought you were going to check the other corridor. Yeah, we'll come to that in a second.
Everybody jumps over and I just go...
Out of interest, are the cockroaches still slowed?
How long does slow last for?
Oh, I don't know.
No, they're not. But they're also, like, there's been a lot of banging. They don't like banging. Like, they're just sort of in their nest, sort of watching.
Fine, okay, fine.
Get your head out the gut around there. That's
I was actually thinking that we did them a favour because now they know exactly where that pit trap is and they're never falling in it again.
It's true.
Yes, that's true.
Right.
You're welcome, monsters.
So, Corey, you are going over with the other two. Can you roll me a stealth check as well, please?
Yay.
Mine was 8.
Thank you.
17.
Now, sometimes these are really good for me, and sometimes these are really horrendous. And today, it's really horrendous. Today, it's a 3.
Welcome to DICE.
Just checking something.
Sometimes with stealth for me, somehow it's either like a nat 20 or it's nothing. Like, it's not...
Was it a nat 1 for a 3?
It was a 2.
Oh, no.
How are
you need
you?
to tell me if it's a nat 1.
Hal, are you rolling as well?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
4.
Cool.
Oh,
Fine.
God.
I mean, maybe me and Hal are just on the adrenaline rush of...
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I think what it is just as you've got across, you sort of have a slight slip, and Halbernet goes, "Oh God!" and that is what leads him to crash into you, which means that we both fall over. Them, and then we both fall over in a heap.
Probably bouncing off Thomas, whose stealth roll was also not fantastic. Nemlin, are you looking down the right-hand corridors and the other side, or the corridor going to the front? Are you looking down both? What are you doing? Just having a quick.
There was only a left and a right, wasn't there?
Left, right, and straight forward.
Oh. Why would you peek down both?
Okay. Roll a perception check.
Yeah. But each one or just
one perception check's fine.
Okay.
What? Nothing.
Let's see. That's a 19. Okay.
Looking down the corridor that went to the front, you don't see any kind of similar trap on the floor, but looking carefully, there are small diamond-shaped holes about 5 foot apart all the way down this corridor before it does a sharp turn as well. Looking in the right-hand corridor, you note as it goes back that it goes down. There is an obvious turning point, and then there is a very sort of steep slope going up, but you can't see all the way up it. That one was a rolling ball.
I got it. Yeah, I think she's just going to shuffle over the hole.
Cool, so you join the others. Don't bother rolling a stealth check, mate. There is truly no point.
Thank you.
Can you roll it for my own enjoyment?
Oh, sure, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
That's a 23.
Oh. You disappear again.
You move around all of them, they don't even know that you're there. Shivara,
I jump and then disappear down the hole.
Oh, no. Mine was a 17.
Okay. As you peer around the edge, do you want to roll an investigation check to check there's no more pit traps on the floor?
Yes. It's a natural 20 for a 28. We're not falling down any more traps.
Looking at the, keeping a very careful eye on the side, so you can see there's a slight raise where the hinge is, otherwise how would it spin? You can look down this corridor, you see no more of those. Whatever this one was, it was clearly just one of them.
Do I see any other?
As you look around the
ominous
side, as you look around the, you see there are no other traps. As you look around the corner, this very sharp corner, and you look around it, the others coming up behind you, not particularly stealthy.
I hear them.
In this corridor, again, it's a metal corridor, just metal all the way up and down.
It's probably why they're so loud. It's just
Yeah,
metal
clang,
footwear
clang,
on
clang,
metal.
clang, clang, clang. It's also, this corridor is only about 15 to 20 foot tall. Like, there are, again, markings and designs on the wall. With an investigation check of 20, you look down this corridor, and in the middle of the corridor, just floating there, about 30 feet away from you, is a rust monster skeleton floating in midair.
Is it magical? Because I still have to take magic up.
No?
Is it inside an ooze?
You have no idea.
Good call.
Does it look like it's inside an ooze? I mean, I'm smart.
Roll me an intelligence check.
Investigation?
I like it.
History?
It's
It's not
perception.
magical.
It's perception. Oozes aren't magical. It's technically perception to see if you can see the gelatinous cube.
But it's definitely an ooze.
Well, I rolled an 8.
It's a floating skeleton, which is weird.
Okay, it's floating in midair, but I have a theory,
It starts floating towards you
which
slowly.
is that it might be inside something dangerous. So
You rolled an 8. Don't matter.
Hey, no, I have a theory. I just can't see it. You didn't make me roll an intelligence check.
No,
I
that's
still have
fine.
the theory.
That's
I just
fine.
can't see it.
Okay. The skeleton is slowly moving towards all of you down this incredibly clean corridor.
Can I?
Like, it's also, like, just to be clear, it's a skeleton, it's dead, and parts of it, it's just sort of, like, it's sort of one bit's over there, one bit's over there, and it's just, like, moving forward. Like, it's not, it's like a graphical anomaly in a video game. It looks terrible.
Can I test my theory
diagram.
by chromatic orbing the skeleton, please?
Sure, make an attack roll.
Chromatic orb.
With disadvantage?
Why disadvantage?
Because technically you can't see the use.
I can see the skeleton. I'm chromatic orbing the skeleton
Oh, okay, fine, yeah.
because I rolled a natural 20.
What?
Which is the only one I'm ever going to get on the stream, so my animation's playing right now. It's the only one you're ever going to see.
There is it seems to, what flavour of chromatic orb is it? Chocolate.
I'm gonna go for cold because it seems to be my theming now.
Cool. A cold orb just goes flying out and impacts something before it hits the skeleton. Roll me the damage.
There's going to need to be a lot of this.
36.
36 points of damage. As you fire forward and it impacts something, the ice starts to sort of hit and then splinter out through a gigantic gelatinous cube that is filling this corridor and starts moving straight towards all of you. I need you all to roll me initiative.
You do!
Yeah.
I love it.
That would be that would be the thing.
16!
12.
8.
5.
Hang on, I'm sorry. 16, 8. What was it, the 12? Who was the 12? Halvin was the 12?
I got a 12 as well.
12 as well for Nailman, so that Nailman goes before Halvin, obviously. Thomas?
5.
5. Thank you.
5. Sweet
Perfect.
baby angel.
Perfect. Thank you very much, everybody. Right, Corey, you can see this. You've probably not experienced a gelatinous cube before necessarily, but you'll have heard of them, much like rust monsters, you'll have heard of them, but not necessarily seen one. But this sort of wall of ooze is just moving down the corridor towards all 5 of you, with this skeleton in it, again, sort of graphic anomaly floating towards you.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that because it doesn't look particularly damaged from Javarith's stuff.
I'm sorry, I auto-rolled its initiative, so I didn't see what it rolled, it just placed it in the table. Its initiative is a -2.
Nice. Really good. Good work.
So Corey, you can now see it, Corey. You can see it. This ice sort of shards shattered into it has sort of split through it a little bit, and you can now start to see sort of like a frozen, smashed window, basically.
Okay.
Nice.
How damaged does it look, I guess?
You can't tell. Like there's a big sort of smash in it. Big ice smash.
Okay, so I think...
Part of the skeleton has sort of moved a little bit weirdly.
Yeah.
Is it likely I've come across a gelatinous cube before?
I reckon you've probably read about them in books, but you probably don't know a lot about them. Like,
Fine.
yeah.
I think I would like to try and slow it down to allow my smarter comrades to do something about it.
Sure.
And so I would like to cast Maximilian's Earthen Grasp.
Oh, splendid.
on it.
Mm-hmm. What do I need to do?
You need to make a strength saving throw.
Oh, I'm all right at those. So you weren't going to say Dex, Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma, which I'm terrible at.
Anything else?
Nope, that's a 6.
Okay, so on a failed save, the target takes 2d6 bludgeoning damage, which I will do now.
Mm-hmm.
It's only 4.
4 points of damage.
4 points of damage, but it's restrained for the spell's duration.
Right.
As an action, I'm assuming that's on my next turn. Never mind. Goodbye.
It's currently held in place. What does your Earthen Grasp look like?
Literally just
hang on a moment. What is the wording on Earthen Grasp about where the hand can come out of? Because everything here is metal.
Ooh.
Well, a medium hand made of compacted soil rises there in an unoccupied space on the ground.
So it doesn't matter. It doesn't require it. So in other words, it doesn't matter what it's made of. It's irrelevant. Anna, how do you want this hand to come out of the ground and grab the ooze?
I think I would like it to come out and it to have the same nails that I have.
Sure. A beautiful benailed hand just rises out of the ground.
So it's still made of dirt, like it's grubby, but it's just got pretty nails on it.
The dirt has sort of magically pushed its way through metal. Just
Well, because it's got spiky nails.
Spiky nails.
And it just grips it, like kind of Cruella de Vil style.
It's quite odd because the ooze itself, like, it's sort of semi-corporeal, so the hand comes out and does this. Clang!
Like someone squeezing a jelly.
Yeah, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Anyway, that's currently happening.
It's making little fart noises and that's making me very laugh.
Of course it is.
Right, good. That's a thing. Now I'm learn.
Wild magic.
Oh, wild magic search. Roll me a d100. And Tides of Chaos is trying it with me. You haven't used magic yet.
It's a
Wait, do I not need
d20.
to roll a d20 as well?
Roll a d20 first.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. I'll. Do you want me to keep that d100?
Keep that 100 roll. I saw it and I want it.
I rolled an 18 on the d20.
Okay,
and
so
the d100 was a 93.
Thank you. 93. I've not got it open, so I'm just going to open it now and see
You
what.
want it? Why did you want it if you didn't know what it was?
Because it was high.
Pray for butterflies.
It was a 93 and I wanted it because I looked at it and went, ooh, 93.
Okay, Tides of Chaos 93. Here we go. Oh no! I hate that laugh. I hate it.
Corey, as you grasp it, do you feel powerful?
Yes.
Do you feel like super? Does casting your spell and going, yeah? Does it fill you with this sense of power and amazement and you're freaking cool?
Always. Yes.
As Corey casts this spell, there's this sort of sense of wonder and enjoyment swells out of her, and she swells and grows by one size category. Corey is now medium-sized, so Corey's now the same size as Nelman.
Oh my gosh!
But just to be clear, you're still shorter than Shivareth and Halbert. You're just about the same size as Neomlen, and also.
Tall for me.
Because it's proportional, you've got a massive head.
Amazing.
But yes, Coriolis, you are now a medium-sized creature.
Yay! How long for? Oh, I'm not allowed to know.
I'm not telling you. Forever.
Okay.
It's not forever. Right.
I would be okay with that, personally. I'd go back to my parents and be like, hi, Mum, hi, Dad, I don't fit in the shop anymore.
Tone has changed.
Anyway, you have swelled up in your sort of sense of pride and power as you have done this. Lovely. Whose turn?
Could have been worse. When Chris used the word swell, I was imagining the blueberry girl from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yes.
Exactly.
I thought it would be nice not to do that. Now then, it is your turn.
Okay. Would you say that I was hidden from it?
What was your stealth roll?
23 or something?
Hang on, let me check something. With a 23, you could fairly assume that you are hidden from it.
Yeah.
What does that
Well, would it be surprised if I attacked it, is all I'm asking.
You don't know.
Well, I'm gonna attack it. I just want to know whether or not I get a crit.
It is a squodgy cube. You have no idea.
Okay, well, I'm gonna stab it from the shadows. I just appear, stabby, stab, stab.
You go running up to it and start stabbing. Please do. It is not surprised, and there is nothing near it because it has blind sight.
Yeah.
But it's grappled, so I technically have advantage.
It's restrained.
It's restrained, so you have advantage to count. Restrained is type of grappled. That's fine. Yeah.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew, pew. So if you attack, you will get sneak attack, but you don't get assassinate. I'm sorry. It has blind sight.
Cool.
It knows where everything is. So I should explain for context, Ed played a sentient gelatinous cube in a game that I ran for 3 years, so Ed knows a lot about gelatinous cubes, just to be clear. Ed knows a hell of a lot about gelatinous cubes, which is odd, just explaining why that's happening.
Love it.
21 hits.
It absolutely hits, yeah. And that gelatinous cube's AC is, just to be clear to everyone, because it's a big squodgy blob, is a 6.
Yeah. You're going to hit it, but you do need to hit it a lot.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that is starting us off at 8 points of damage plus a solid. That's not great. Plus another 5 plus another 5, so that's 10. So 8 plus 10, 18.
18.
And then can I bonus action stab it with my other dagger?
Sure.
Please?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, it's got a low AC, hasn't it? So that's
6.
hit it for a 14.
Yeah, you're fine.
14, yeah.
3 points of stabby damage, please.
As you strike out at it, it's a very strange feeling. You just sort of... Like, you're trying to do something to it, but you're not sure if you're doing anything to it, because you just sort of... You're like carving a jelly tunnel. But you're not aware, you don't really know what you're doing. The ooze of it does sort of spatter around you in places, and where it impacts you, it's definitely sort of like forming little acid burns. You don't take any damage, but just to give you the flavour, it is very acidic.
Very, very acidic.
I just keep stabbing.
Good.
You're like an ice cream scoop, just sort of slapping fluid into
I'm
it.
used to acids. I've got gloves for that.
Fine. Halbert.
Right. They are going to. How far away from it am I?
30. It was 30 feet up the corridor, and it hasn't moved technically. So
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to cast. Or is it spiritual weapon?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I think at 3rd level. Where's the thing? Oh, there it is. Cool. So if I do that, and does that? I can attack as well. Mm-hmm. Does the spiritual weapon get to attack this turn?
yes.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll do that to start with. Then it's got a +8, so it hits, right?
Roll to see if it's 20.
Okay. It's not.
Okay.
That was a 4.
Still hits. I mean, because it's a +8, it still hits.
Well, exactly. So it just goes and starts at the top of it.
Oh yeah, because it's chewing. Like it's just someone sort of attacking the top of a jelly. Starts biting its way and sort of masticating its way down. But it doesn't swallow, so of course all of the jelly just starts splatting around the place.
Yep, that sounds exactly right. And then
How much damage does that do?
11.
11.
Which I'm pleased with. And
It's being masticated.
deliberately. Oh my goodness! Right. I technically actually shouldn't have done that because I'm very badly hurt.
Did you run up to it
myself? Yes. No. I am going to do that. That's what I declared. That is a 23 to hit, which is unnecessary. And for the first time, that is 5 damage. But there's also the thunder damage, which is the first time I have done that.
Nice.
So
That wasn't a crit with a 23, was it?
no. It was
You also stun things, I think, don't you?
Yes, well, but this time, so the total is 11 damage, but the 6. So I sort of, I think I'd probably sort of stick my mace through the side of it, and then give the thing a squeeze, and there's a sort of a thing that sort of rockets out through it. It's sort of like a
Stun gun.
what do you call it? Yeah, it's like putting a grenade in a lake. It's that kind of idea.
Putting a grenade in a lake.
Sorry, it was the ripples effect I was thinking of rather than...
The fish.
Love the idea of you stood outside the edge of a lake going like...
It sounded like a badly translated foreign language idiom.
I love how you're all
Like you
assuming
throw a
that.
grenade in a lake.
I love how you're all assuming that Ed hasn't done this when he probably has.
done that.
He almost certainly has. Right.
Wasn't a good idea.
Ed, do you want to describe how this kills it?
What?
Yeah.
Really?
You did 36 points of damage to it.
Yeah, that's true. Cool. Oh, well, in which case...
You've done 84 points of damage to it. Just carved straight through it.
But I had a plan and everything.
Sorry, just carved straight through it. Didn't need to.
The plan is kill it.
Well, in which case, the thing I was saying absolutely works. It's like that ripple effect goes out, and when it gets to the edge of it, it just goes and covers everything in the goop.
Do you know what spherizing is? It's when you start a sine wave from inside something, and it just whoop, and it sort of bowls out into a bowl and bulges. Yeah. And I think its surface tension breaks. So it just and just pops like a balloon. Shivarith, Coriolis, Thomas, you're far enough back. You just sort of
Just put down my staff, looking slightly disappointed.
Hal, Len. You are covered in it, and it is acidic, but you quickly realise that once it leaves the body, the acidity of it wears off. So you're just like, it's like the dinosaur snot from Jurassic Park. It's just
And also, but a vague sort of chemical peel.
Yeah, a little bit of chemical peel. Yeah.
I can
Our skin will be
Suddenly everyone's...
I've still got prestidigitation. I can sort you both out. It's fine.
Yes, it pops, and the rust monster skeleton just sort of falls to pieces on the floor.
That worked. I like this, Mace. Sorry, carry on.
We'll just quickly prestidigitate the both of them.
Okay,
thank you.
Before we carry on.
I thought that was going to be much harder work than it was. We seem to be getting the hang of this. Are we still... That was quite fun. I enjoyed that. And this is what happens when there's no plan.
Good.
Yes. Okay. Yes. You seem to have increased.
Yeah.
This is fun. Okay. Yes. Let's get going. Hooray.
Corey, it only lasts a minute. How would you like to deflate?
Literally just like that. So maybe I say
Maybe I start talking and then my voice gets slightly higher and now I'm back to normal.
Is there like a...
pretty much. There's like a balloon effect from the,
Okay.
I still have detect magic up as this happens. What is happening?
Wild magic courses through Coriolis at all times.
Fascinating.
It's like Corey's been... there is a strange there's a sort of astral pinkness to it that you would recognise. Corey's been infused with the essence of the astral sea.
Does this happen to you often?
what, growing?
Magic surges, odd things.
Yeah, all the time.
Cool.
Sorry.
Don't need to apologise.
Don't apologise. It's mental. I love it.
Yeah, but sometimes it goes wrong. Like sometimes it rains.
Oh, that was you!
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, it didn't make sense at the time, but it does now.
Do it. Niall, roll it. Roll it, Niall. I can see you want to. Roll it.
Amazing.
What role am I adding to?
Whatever you want. This is your roleplay decision.
I'm guessing that's a history.
It could be, or an intelligence check.
Plus nothing.
Or it could be a wisdom check.
17.
Yeah.
I think now they're just like, no.
But I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know that vomit happened.
Do things ever happen to other people, or is it always to you?
No, they happen to other people.
Wait, what? What? What?
Oh.
What are you talking about?
I think we should go further down. Further down.
The thing with the...
What thing?
What thing?
With the... and you...
I remember a thing.
What's it?
nothing
The
happened.
vomiting.
Oh.
Vomiting?
The dagger transfer.
When did you vomit?
Nolan puts a hand on your shoulder and says, "Don't worry, I didn't." And then looks back at you like...
Shimura just looks really confused.
Up ahead of you, the corridor.
Going to turn to Thomas and be like, "But she did."
Up ahead of you.
We know that she did, but we're saying that she did.
The corridor widens out. Those of you with dark vision can see that. Otherwise, it is dim lighting still. There's some light bouncing off the metal in this
I'm going
space.
to cast light on something.
There you go. You can now all see. As you make your way down this corridor and it widens out, this room, most of you wouldn't quite know what you're looking at. Neomlin would, so I'm going to describe it for Neomlin's benefit, and then tell the rest of you if that works for her. In the center of the room is this room is quite wide, quite large. In the center is what looks like a chimney. This metal is basically everywhere, except around the base of it, where there is stone, mostly. And Neomlin, there's a small gap in between where the chimney comes down and the stone base. It's a forge. It is a central space that would have been heated, and you would have been able to use it. Around the edge, there are what look like small alcoves or rooms. There are doors in front of all of them, and this whole space appears to be a central forge space with tools and things being kept in separate alcoves. Everyone could use the central forge space and then go back and work at their own station. As you move into the space and look around, I'm going to say that you all recognize this because you've all been traveling with Neomlen, you've seen the brand. There are various symbols on the doors, most of which none of you recognize, but there is one that has that same symbol on it.
Can I just, before Neomlen, runs off, which we all know is going to happen, it might be dangerous down here. Can I just going to, reach out a hand towards you? Tentatively.
I think she's just looking at you like.
If you don't object, I'm just going to put my hand on your shoulder and cast Greater Invisibility on you.
Nice.
Zumba.
Yeah.
It lasts for 1 minute, but it means that you can run around, you can attack things if necessary, and you remain invisible if you attack things.
Awesome.
Forever, basically, for the next minute. Have fun.
Neomlen,
Better get to work then.
if you move over, you're lit up. You're not particularly stealthy at this point. But Neomlen, if you want to move across this space, it's about 50 foot wide, but there's this big central sort of pillar in the way so that you can't see around all of it. But if you all start moving into the space and Neomlen moves towards the door, there are other tunnels coming out of here. I'm going to describe some stuff that the four of you, if you're not going over to this door with Neomlen, would see, or if you want to go with Neomlen, I'll describe what's there. Are people splitting up? You're all in the room. It's not like splitting the party. It's just doing different things.
I'm going to go somewhere different to deliberately not be
Yes, exactly. I want to move off in a different direction.
So Havan and Shivareth are moving off together, looking at the room a little bit, maybe?
Yeah.
I think I would follow, but a little further back, just in case Neomlen needs a human.
Sure.
A person. I'm not a human.
Gotcha.
I'm,
That's a compliment.
I understood. Don't worry. I think we all understood. Don't worry. You're good. Nat? Thomas?
Just, I guess, checking any of the corridors going off to see, potential entry, exit for both of us and other things.
So 3 and 2 is what we're saying. Well, 3 and 1 and 1.
I would like to take a quick glance to see if the anvil is at the forge center before going to the room.
Sure. Now then, as you move into the room and the others start moving around behind you and away from you, this chimney that comes down in the center, this forge, there is no anvil. There is no central anvil or anything like that. You can see by some of the doors there are sort of anvil tools and gear, clearly stuff that was shared. You imagine that behind these alcove doors are probably individual smithies, anvils, places for people to work. But this central piece was literally just the forge. It was the bit that got hot and you put the metal in. There is no anvil in the center. But yes, you can... Of course. You run in, move around. You move towards the door with your family crest on it. And Corey is...
I'd like to just give it a little investigation, make sure it's not like the others.
And Corey can come with you behind, but still there if necessary. Thomas, Shivareth, Halbana. As you step into the room, because of Shivareth's light, you can see relatively well and move around this space relatively easily. Hal, you can see anyway, but for the other two's benefit. Yeah. There are 2 other corridors that come off this space. The corridor you came in is quite narrow. It's only about 10 feet wide. These 2 are about 20 feet wide. and they look like they're still metal, but they look like they see a lot more travel. The 10th one you just went through was clean, was clear, because the cube was there, but these two have a bit more dirt and rubble in them, and places where the metal has warped and broken. None of the rust damage, that's clearly only in the first bit, because the rust monsters can't get past the traps. But this bit here, it's more like warping and decay and time have started to affect this part of the forge more. Can everyone please roll me an investigation and the three of you, not the other two. Roll me an investigation and a perception check. Two things I'd like to see if you know. Yes.
Investigation is 24.
Oh, for pity's sake.
Perception is 15.
Okay.
My investigation check was 8, and my perception check was 13.
Okay.
My investigation was a 4. My perception went from a nat 1 to a nat 20.
Nice.
Beautiful. How you're taking all this in, and it's a lot, but also it's beautiful. It's old and it's decayed, but the metal in here, where earlier in this it was damaged by the rust, and where down that corridor it was sort of bizarrely clean. This is a working forge. There are grates in the roof where smoke would have been able to escape somewhere, but you didn't have no idea how that would have worked. It is a beautifully designed, set-up space. Looking down these corridors, you can see that there are more individual forges like this, and they go down and down and down, and you can't see far enough to see how far this goes. You have no idea how big this space is.
Wow. Okay.
Shavareth, with a investigation of 24, looking at the floor, you realize something. Where this rubble and stuff is placed, and where there is clearly a lot of damage and things like that, there are bodies. They look dwarven as far as you can tell, without going in and doing a deeper investigation check. You can see them now, where you may not be able to at first. They've clearly all been moved. They haven't, dropped and decayed in places, because there would be some marking of that. They've all been moved to the side. And with a 24, I think it's only fair to say, where the metal has buckled and warped at various points in this space, they look like footsteps, very large footsteps.
Where have they been moved to the side of? And when they've been moved, does it look like they've been moved carefully, as in to preserve the...
No, they've been scattered to the sides to leave what looks like space for these gigantic footsteps.
As in kicked to the side?
They look like they've been sort of shoved to leave corridors. Thomas, with your natural 20 on perception, as you and Halbernet and Shavareth are walking around and looking at all of this, where Halbernet's looking down and seeing just how far this goes, and also looking down the other side where it goes about 3 to 4 and then stops. So there is it's long and thin, not big square forever. And where Shavareth is taking more note of things around, you hear 3 voices. Do you speak giant?
Ooh.
You hear 3 voices conversing in a language that you don't understand. They're quite quiet, clearly a long way away. Well, not.
That I speak giant.
I know Shavareth speaks.
Yeah, that's fine. But yes, that is what the 3 of you get from this first look at the Hidden Forge. Well, first look at the Hidden Forge proper.
Immediately and quietly puts his hand on Shavareth's arm and says, "Do you hear that? There's some people. I can hear the voices. But would I know that it's possibly giant? But just
it sounds a bit. Well, I think you can probably recognise different. We know that sounds French. We don't speak French, for example. I think it'd be fair to go. That sounds like giant. It's probably quite low and bassy, and got a lot of sort of log stuff.
We did recently speak to a giant.
Exactly. Yeah. And it sounds similar.
Can I hear it now? Thomas has pointed it out.
Yes.
Can I translate it?
We'll come to that in a second. Nermlin, with Corey behind you. These doors, they are double doors, a bit like a cupboard door, but they look like they've got small latches down the middle, and clearly they swing out, and then there's something inside them, like a sort of workstation, like a locked workstation.
Okay, presumably my brand might be used as a key.
Do you try and use your brand as a key?
Yeah, there's like a keyhole for it.
Sort of fusking around in the various different locks and pieces. Each of the locks individually has what looks like a key, but as you move down towards the center of the store, in the center of your family logo, there is a spot where the brand would fit quite nicely. If you slot it in there, you feel a sort of slight magical buzz. Nothing too intense, just a little sort of bzzzt, and all of the locks all open.
I look back at Corey, forgetting that I'm invisible, and just give her a thumbs up and a smile, and then turn around.
Corey just looks blankly at the door, assuming that Naomi is there somewhere.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, what's inside?
Do you open it?
Yeah.
If you pull this open, inside it's a small alcove. Like there's space to work, but not a lot of space to work. There is an anvil in the center of this, the sort of centerpiece where all the work was done. It looks very pedestrian. Like, it's not magical. It's just a very solid working person's anvil. On the wall and to the side are various pieces that are either clearly being worked on. Like, there's quite a few pieces of armor that look like they were sort of mid-construction. A couple of swords, a couple of shields, that sort of thing. In the centerpiece at the front of it is a beautiful piece of armor. It's a breastplate, it's a plate set of armor. You recognize this as a smith. It is a smithy's model. It is made for a dwarf, but it is roughly 3/4 to half size to show the detail and the finesse of a small piece being done, which is why you'll see pieces of armor in, castles, medieval castles that look quite small, because they were being done to show off how detailed they could be. Which sort of hanging above the anvil. There are also various alcoves with what looks like dusty old papers that they're basically ready to fall apart. You could probably investigate this whole area if you wanted to have a closer look to see what else you could find.
Yeah, I'll give it a little. I think it's like a nice nostalgic investigate. You probably see like dust being brushed off things and things moved about slightly.
Mm-hmm.
Can I give advantage?
You can't see what Nelman's doing. I think because it's only a minute, and by this point it's probably starting to fade. Because there's nothing here. Sorry, I think that's only fair.
It was worth it just to check.
Oh, totally. That was awesome.
The magic will fade, and you will see Neon. You can then go and assist Corey if you want to.
I would like to assist.
Lovely. Who's got the higher investigation? Who wants to assist the other?
Probably Corey.
I mean,
Do you both want to roll separately, or do you want one to assist the other?
Is that higher than a 0?
Hold on. Yes, it is.
Then I'll take your advantage.
So that was not good. That was... That's a 14.
14. As you are with Neomlen digging your way, sort of looking around this space, Neomlen, you can find various bits of paperwork and so on, and you do recognize your mother's handwriting because you've worked with your mum for years. I mean, your mum's quite sort of old for a dwarf now, but you recognize the handwriting. This is probably her workstation, as far as you can tell. But as you dig through and find various sort of notes and things, Corey, there's a black velvet bag in the back behind a bunch of stuff tucked away that Neomlen wouldn't notice because, again, wrong height, whereas you will, which you're welcome to reach in and pull out if you want.
Yeah, and I won't look in it. I'll give it straight to Neomlen.
It's a featureless sort of black velvet bag, Neomlen.
Good for putting over people's heads.
I put it on my head.
You become one.
I just empty it out onto the anvil in front of us both.
Cool. You sort of pull it out, and there are things inside. You have to actually pull them out properly. You pull out a piece of clothing, and you look at it, and you don't quite understand what it is, so you hold it and sort of shake it out, and you realize it's solid leather armor. It's +1 solid leather armor. But that's not what you notice. it has Zentarum symbology on it.
She's a naughty girl, my man. I just smile and I'll be like, I pull down the armor from the side.
I'm not done with the bag.
Huh?
I'm not done with what's in the bag. That's just the first thing that's in the bag.
Oh, cool. There's more in the bag. That's it.
Corey, roll me a history check.
Oh,
Okay.
me? Okay.
Yeah.
That's an 18.
The symbology on this armor is of the Zentarum, the Black Network, a series of assassins that work all through the Sword Coast and are basically not fantastic. Not awful, just not fantastic.
But are they cool?
I mean, yeah, but also, like, they probably killed people that you know.
Oh.
I'm the bad guy.
But Nilman, you don't recognize this armor. It's not armor that you have seen ever. You have no idea why your mother would have Zentarum armor. You're in the Zentarum, but she's not. And you've never spoken to her about it because why would you talk to your mum about being an assassin? It doesn't make any sense.
Hi, Mum.
It's kind of like it's more of a. I imagine the Godot household is a very quiet household where not much is spoken about. So I think it's one of those like, huh. It's not like a huh. It's like a huh.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, Mum. It's like finding out your mum smoked. Do you know what I mean?
Having a dad's porn stash. Yeah, that's not okay.
You find there's also a hood with this that is also a magic item in its own right. We'll cover that in a second. And there's also a bag that, if you open it up, has quite a lot of money and gems in it. You're talking probably about 2,000 gold pieces worth of golden gems.
Sweet.
I pull out a gem and I hand it to Corey and I go, we'll just keep this between us.
You're going to need those gold to pay to wear the armor, so be careful.
Yeah, this golden gems together you have to then use to upgrade the armor to actually put it on. Yeah.
I take the gem back and I say, it's everyone for themselves.
Hype for gems is real!
Okay.
And I punch her in the face and run away.
Steady now.
I hand Corey a gem. I say, we'll just keep this between us. I never found. Then I'll be like, I never found the one in the lake. And then I tighten up the bag, pull down the armor set, hand that to her, and say, "Go give that to Thomas. It's better than the shite he's wearing." And then I, as she leaves, close the door to get changed.
Nice.
I mean, there's not a huge amount of space in there, but you can. It's like, I'm going to close this. Oh.
Just stand on the anvil. You're sure.
I'm in a cupboard.
I'm in a cupboard.
Display yourself.
You can change.
I mean, you did a Van Damme earlier. You'll be fine.
Getting trousers off is very easy.
You start getting changed. That's perfectly fine. Corey, you can go over to Thomas. Shavareth, as you listen out, this is what you hear. Well, this isn't going particularly well, is it? Shut up! Yeah, shut up! How are we supposed to find it when everything looks the same? I don't know, but boss said we should look, and that everyone else was looking, and that they were doing bad jobs of looking, so we're gonna do the looking. Yeah! Fine. I guess we keep going.
They appear to be here looking for the same thing we do. They also appear to have a bad smoking habit.
The characters or the DM?
Let's not cross that line. Do you want me to go and kill them?
I think we should wait for everyone.
Corey, at this point you arrive with nice armor.
Oh. There are people down here. In fact, I will message Noman, but there are people down here.
I understand that you're whispering. You have to stage whisper into your mic.
There are people down here.
What? Where?
That wasn't at you. That was at Nomelan. Sorry.
Am I changed by now?
Did I accidentally point at Halbernet?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna point at Nermlin now. I point at Nermlin. There are people.
I want to just like turn up from the side and be like, "Oh, look at
Nermlin is now wearing like super cool robes and shapes. Like there's more of a visor to the outfit now. Can everyone more like Batman than ever, frankly. Thomas, Shavareth, Halbernet, please all roll me a history check.
Ooh. Do I get advantage? Because I'm on
you do.
18.
10. Why were you still whispering?
Because we're in a dangerous situation.
Okay. Feels right.
The natural 20.
Wow.
That also feels right.
Okay.
Where did you get that?
What? Whisper louder, you fool.
Found what?
Found what? We can't hear you, Niall. We have no idea what you're saying.
Found what?
Found what?
I'm confused. They've rolled history check. What?
Yes, we've rolled history checks.
Yeah, to figure out what the armor is.
Thomas knows
that it's center and armor.
I know as well. I rolled an 18.
Yeah.
This is,
Get that from... Why would the dwarves have Zentarum armor?
Well, the Zentarum have got to get their armor from somewhere. Presumably they pay well.
It's good stuff.
What's the problem here?
It's
Why
got...
would Laeral...
It's got Zentarum symbols on it.
Oh, good lord. That's... Well, provided you're still on our side, that's a positive, isn't it?
I mean, you don't suddenly put on, like, different clothes and become, Zentarum.
Look, she hasn't killed us in our sleep yet. I think we're alright.
Yes, that's definitely what I think. What's going on? Who are we listening to?
Oh, there's some...
Laeral know.
What?
Did Laeral know? No, she must have known. When she got you on board for this.
That there was Zentarum armor down in the forge. That seems highly unlikely.
You're a Zentarum.
Where did you get that from?
Well, you're not a locksmith.
Sorry, that was really good.
I'm very good at picking locks.
You can see that.
We're going to have a problem?
I don't think so.
Run. Put the armor on then.
She had good reason.
Oh no, they haven't let me display the armor yet, so he doesn't have the option.
Oh, I point to Cara and I'm like, put the armor on.
Are you bribing me?
No, she told me to give you this, but then you wouldn't let me talk.
Try to be quiet.
There's some well, hang on. They're speaking in giant. That doesn't mean that they are giant. I could just go and kill them while you get changed.
Let's do that. I don't like giants.
Really? Surely we should all go together.
How long does it take to put on plate mail?
Very long.
Maybe
With help,
10 minutes.
a little less time.
10 minutes? Oh, I suppose that is
how
true.
loud is it?
We can do it quietly.
All right. Why don't you do the armor and I'll stand here, and if they come down the corridor, I'll do the bad plan again and make them run away.
Right.
Sounds good. Let's do that.
Cara, you're good at blowing stuff up. Like, not towards the entrance.
Yeah.
You can get a sense of which door you're through.
Not me though.
Thomas definitely has underlayers on.
Oh, of course. You would not wear plate armor on naked skin. That would hurt.
The point is, it's still like we're in kind of quite an open space, so it's still quite exposing. But
Absolutely. I will also say that if Thomas takes the plate armor that Thomas is already wearing, the guard plate with some chain on it in different places, Thomas is surprisingly, like, muscular and small. Like, you've gotten used to Thomas being this kind of, like, you know, brick, because Thomas wears all this armor. When the armor comes off, Thomas is actually quite, like, in really good shape.
I rolled a willpower check for Shivarith. She peaks.
Like, he's still wearing clothes. Like, he's not in his smalls, but Thomas is surprising, a bit of a gut, but otherwise surprisingly built.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mostly looking at Dora, and then for a second I'm like...
Anyway.
Whilst Naomi's helping Thomas change, she's just gonna sort of like look at him and be like, so are we gonna have a problem?
Well, like I said, Laryl.
Yes.
Imagine Laryl knew who she was hiring when she hired you. So if she has good reason, the Open Lord of Waterdeep wanted me to arrest you, I imagine she'd have told me. So, for now, I suppose not.
Naomi just goes, for now. And then, like, helps finish off putting on the armor.
Corey?
You have a problem. Oh, sorry.
Not for now.
Noted.
Corey?
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean when someone, like, holds your hand? Like in like tense situations. Is it good?
Well, yeah, I guess. Either they're trying to slip you money,
I don't think it was that one.
or it's your parent,
Definitely not.
or a really good mate.
Maybe?
No, they're the only three I got. I don't know any others.
Okay. That's good.
Does that help? I don't know if it helps.
No, that helps.
Okay, and then can I just turn to Thomas and be like, Thomas, you're quite fit, you know?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm not to, like, you know, it's fine, but, sorry, I shouldn't have looked, I'm sorry.
Shivarith is definitely, like, 100% facing the other way while this conversation happens, pretending that she never looked.
What is going on back there?
The thirst is what's happening here.
Oh no, Corey's not thirsty, just observant.
I think Naomi very dryly just says, we're merely commenting on how handsome Thomas is.
Oh.
I rolled an 11, so I don't think I noticed Shivarith.
Yeah. Thomas is very handsome. Yeah.
I don't really have an opinion on the subject, but I'm sure they're very, he's very comely.
Can we go kill the things now, please?
We're a pretty fit group, to be honest. I think.
Naomi just walks up to you, it's like, yeah, I'd say so.
Everyone's quite attractive in their own way.
Right, is there anything, I think I've got a plan.
From down the corridor where you hear the giant voice, and Shivarith, you can still hear the giant voices talking. You hear a very loud footstep. It was quite quiet at first, and it's now slowly starting to build up.
That's not ominous at all.
Everyone else could hear that, can't they?
Yeah, loud footsteps coming this way.
Yes, I thought so. Okay, well, should we are we ready?
Can't Shivarith understand all
Yeah, I
of
can
this?
understand that.
Sorry.
I love the idea that they're just so they've been drinking instead of looking.
Well, guess we better keep looking around. Hang on, do you hear something? Yeah, I hear something. Me too.
I think we should hide, or find somewhere to have a nap, or hide.
Oh my god.
Or hide for a nap, maybe. Maybe back out in the corridor. Like now.
Let's go.
Louder and louder and louder.
Gonna start shivving everyone back into the corridor.
The little 10-foot one, the small one.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and carry the old plate mail so we've not left evidence.
Okay.
From up above, sure, you can still hear their conversation. Oh, let's go find another bit quickly before he gets here. All right. And you can just see as you're moving back, two large figures, it's dark so you can't see particularly well, making a hustle around the room. These rooms are all the same, it's like a grid pattern. Making hustle around the forge of the next one and running their way down the corridor as the five of you start making your way down the corridor. You want from your stealth checks, please?
Oh no. Not now.
You said the hood did something. Is that anything stealth related?
Once per day, you can make yourself invisible.
Oh, how invisible? Like invisible before killing something, or invisible whilst killing?
Invisible, just the invisibility spell. No concentration. You can just be invisible until you attack someone or whatever the other thing is for breaking invisibility.
Excellent.
Hello, GPM. Do I get anything special with my new armor?
Well, I'm going to put these all in your inventory, but since we're right at the end, I will just tell you, Thomas, this armor is a +1 suit of armor. It's called Warrior's Plate. It negates critical hits on you. They just don't happen. And if an effect would move you, you can choose with a reaction not to be moved.
Awesome.
But it does not affect my stealth rolls.
Oh, no. God, no. I'm not going to do that. No.
Sure.
Of course.
The oxymoron.
This ain't mithril.
This ain't mithril. Right, so let's have those stealth rolls, please.
16.
16, 4, there it is. 8, there it is.
There with you.
Non nat 20.
Wow. And now I'm letting 400.
No, with disadvantage, sorry. 15.
Right. Well, I mean, I've already rolled for one of them. I'm going to roll for the other, who have advantage on these. Right. Oh, no. No, not that. Thank you. Yeah, they both see you. The two figures...
See who?
The two figures running down the corridor, these two very large figures, as they're running, look up and see the group of 5 of you. Like, it's a group check. It's a group. I will say that people can sort of duck behind things.
Given that I'm probably aware that I'm not being super stealthy.
You're very aware you're not being super stealthy.
Can I turn and message one of them in Giant and just say, for your own sake, go away. Can I roll an intimidation check?
I love the idea that you have to point at them to message as well.
I
so you just
Yo!
I rolled a 19, so that is a 24.
Yes!
Wild.
Okay. As the group of 5 of you try to hide, stealth, get out of the way, get back towards this corridor, and as these two giants, one is a troll, long, gangly limbs, just runs in and looks at you with a kind of and behind them, slightly larger, but also these are both large people, they're both giants. And Etin, with his 2 heads, comes bumbling in behind with a certain, oh no, what's going on? And there's a sort of tense, standoff between the 5 of you and these 2 giants. Shavarith, as you stand there, pointing, from behind the giants, a dull red glow is filling the corridor behind them.
We didn't get a long rest.
No, you did not.
I'm really hurt.
If we can just get around the corner, I can create a tiny hut and we're fine for 8 hours. It can't get in.
And behind the 2 giants stands the biggest iron golem any of you have ever seen. It looks like a dwarf. It has all of the look and style of a dwarf, but it is huge. And it is making its way down the corridor to where you're having this standoff with the two giants. And that is where we're going to pick up next time. Next time.
I would like to hold Noemlin's hand and then realise it's sweaty and go, oh, sorry, and wipe it.
It's not my hand. I'm not there. I'm joking. That's cool.
Cool. That's what we'll pick up next time, everyone. That's
Amazing.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh no. I need a long rest.
Sorry, everyone. There is no long rest. That's what happens when you spend an hour and a half on a pit trap.
That didn't work. That really didn't work.
Oh, dear. I will say the armor is attuned to make our lives easier.
Has it been dawn, though?
Yes.
That would be really useful.
It has been dawn. All the dawn things reset.
Cool.
I will allow that. That is fine.
That's great.
Cool. Well, we better wrap up. Times are tight. Thank you so much, everyone. That was a wonderful... Put in pit traps, they said. It'll be fine. I don't tend to use traps in my home games, and I now see why. Anyway, that was great fun. I was very tense. I loved it. It was great. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We are playing on Tuesdays, 7 p.m. GMT. That's 11 a.m. Pacific time. Until, when are we playing? Oh, well, next week is the last week. Next week's the last week of the show. Yeah. I know. No, next week, join us for the grand finale of The Anvil of Dumathoin. Yeah, lovely. Thank you very much, everyone. Then after that, we will have another show. More on that later when we know what that show is. Good. On Mondays, we are currently playing Flustered in the Feywild, which Emma is DMing. And Emma, I'd love to ask you to talk about it, but you're currently very busy.
Sorry, I was resetting all my dawn things.
Right.
I need to re-prepare spells. This is just cruel.
You can't re-prepare spells on...
Not on a... No, this is rude. It's unfair. I don't like it.
Well, okay. Em, do you want to plug Flustered in the Feywild at all?
Yes, I give people long rests. It's nice. Come join us.
Fair. Okay.
We'll be fine.
We'll be fine. It's going to be an excellent show.
If not, we just found a load of gems and Mert can help.
Yeah, we've got these.
Join us on Saturdays for Talk Together. That's our chat show, which we also do. It'd be very nice if you could join us there. And all of our shows are streamed at twitch.tv/RollTogetherRPG. You can find all of our content archived at youtube.com/RollTogetherRPG. There are also podcast versions of all of our shows. Just search Roll Together RPG in your favorite podcasting app. Join us on socials, Roll Together RPG basically everywhere. And a massive thank you to all of our sponsors, including the wonderful Ludium, and letting us play Warriors of Waterdeep, that actual stream. It's been lovely. Can't wait to finish it off next week. And yes, that's it. That's everything. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
666.